Sport.
On ABC Sport, this is the AFL.
Room to steady and finish.
It's close to the goal line and might have got there. Another one.
Sit back, relax, witness the greatest. It don't get better than this.
Rampy from 55 and right on the way home. Huge fend off and kicks the goal. The skipper off a step finishes.
Take a seat, 'cause it don't get better than this.
Right foot strike.
He's got it. Oh, the home fans like that. Takes a bounce, unguarded, goal square. He's got it. Reed's going to go for goal. Oh my goodness, that truly is remarkable.
This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Take a seat, 'cause it don't get better than this.
On radio, on digital, and on the ABC Listen app.
You take a seat, 'cause it don't get better than this.
The Blues look to get their best chance to return to the winners list for the first time since round 14 against the West Coast Eagles as they take on the Demons, keen to snap a 4-game losing streak, while for Melbourne it's a chance to honour Clayton Oliver with his 200th game. Hello, welcome to Saturday Night Footy from the MCG on ABC Sport. It's been a cool day in Melbourne and we did have some showers around in the last hour or so, but the good news is the players are out in the middle and we're just about ready to go. The Demons snapped a 5-game losing streak with a 36-point win over North Melbourne last week off the back of Jake Melcham's 5 goals and Christian Petrarca's 31 disposals. It is also the Carlton Respects game, which is paying tribute for the Blues. It's been one of their awareness for gender equality and the prevention of violence against women dating back to 2016. Matt Clinch with you for ABC Sport. Corey Durden and Xavier Lindsay will be the subs tonight for their respective sides. Lauren Borton to call the action alongside me. Welcome to you, Loz.
Oh, thanks, Clinchy. It's nice to be out here at the MCG tonight. A little bit of rain pre-game, but at the moment it's looking nice in the centre circle with some new grass as well that's been laid out, I'm sure, as they get ready for finals here at the MCG. But it might be a clash between the bottom 10 sides, but the last 3, Carlton have won by a combined 7 points, so close there. And then on the other side, Melbourne won the 8 previous to that. So some wild swings when it comes to momentum and winning between these two clubs.
Yeah, absolutely. 12th versus 13th, but tonight someone will record their 7th win of the season. We're stacked once more on the back row. Premiership bomber from the 2000s, of course. Adam Ramanauskas is with you for a Saturday night. Welcome to you, Rama.
Yes, good evening, Clinchy. It's a mild night. It's cold, no doubt, but the rain hopefully will stay away. I was coming to this game tonight thinking it should be 2 top 6 teams in both Carlton and Melbourne if you look at the talent on both teams, but clearly it hasn't to be this season for both these sides. But I think you've still got to look to be playing well at this time of the year to build momentum going to next year.
And a man who has been in everywhere today, the AFL Games record holder, Brent Harvey, is with you at the MCG. Welcome to you, Boomer, but you have been back playing footy today.
Oh, I did. I'm not sure why, but I went and had a little kick today out, and I thought it was in Trentham, which is only an hour and 20 from my house, and it ended up being an hour and 30 from Trentham. So 2.5 hour hike back here to get to the footy. But wrapped to be here. Ramo, I'm looking at Carlton, and I see him play 2 different brands of football. They play this safe, sideways, sort of keepings off style of football. It's not really working for them. And then when what hits the fan, they have to press the button and they go for it and they actually score. I would love them to see just throw caution to the wind from the start of the game and play that risky football. And it probably shouldn't be called risky football, but just some football where they go back through the middle and have a real good crack at it. So be interesting to see how they start tonight.
How do they release the shackles, Rama? How do they take some of the pressure off? We mentioned the 4 games in which they've lost in recent weeks, the pressure on the club externally and Michael Voss, the arrival of Graham Wright. How do they put all that to one side?
Depends what
play better footy.
It really depends what you're trying to do. Are you trying to limit the damage, or you're trying to head in the right direction for next season? If you're trying to limit the damage, well, they'll play as they are. They'll play this, the contest clearance game because they think that's what's working. But if they want to move into the future, I agree with Boomer. They need to start to look. How do we hit centre corridor more? How do we bounce off halfback more? We know they're not a good kicking team, but that doesn't mean you don't still go for that option. If fans can see what you're actually trying to do and you make a mistake, so be it. If you miss a blatant pass, okay, everybody's got a right to feel a little bit upset and angry about that. But if you're trying to do something because that's the way the team wants to play moving to the future, I would go as a fan, yep, no worries. I see what they're trying to do and it'll come off maybe next time.
They got some youth, excuse me, they got some youth there.
Yeah.
So you take those risks, Ramo, and it doesn't come off. You're 100% right. The spectators, their fans, their supporters, they want to see some.
Yeah.
You say throw caution to the wind, but it can be with a plan as well. You can come back through the middle and set up behind the ball so you don't get scored against heavily. But yeah, I see distinctively two brands or two styles of football that Carlton play, and the first half, it's not pretty football at the minute.
Well, it feels like two different sides from that Blake Acres goal in the semi-final, in which the Blues were then able to advance through. They lost in that prelim final to the Brisbane Lions. And probably Melbourne, Carlton, Port Adelaide, those three sides that haven't lived up to the expectations this season that so many supporters had. Clayton Oliver tonight, Rama, plays his 200th game. It's been interesting 12 months for Clary. He's achieved so much with the Melbourne Football Club, and the meeting in which he had with Reece Stanley and the Geelong captain, Patrick Dangerfield, down at the Cattery at the start of the season. Question as to whether he will still be there at the end of the season once more, where that question might be asked again, but he is slowly starting to get back towards the footy we know he's capable of.
Yeah, and I think we've got to celebrate the 200 games and what he's been able to do in a Melbourne jumper. There's those best and fairest. There was a long-awaited premiership for the Demons, so he's certainly been a terrific player for the Melbourne Football Club. But like any player, you go through your challenges at times where whether it's motivation, whether it's preparation, whether it's injury. Now, Oliver may have found all three of those in the last 12 months, but at the same time, he's still been a terrific player for the Melbourne Football Club. You consider that he was really an unknown when he was drafted as an 18-year-old. He was drafted with pick 5, but he never played in a Vic Country team or the like. So Melbourne took a punt on him, and I think the punt has certainly paid off with what he's been able to achieve in their colours.
He's been an amazing player for a long period of time now. Has this slipped under the radar, or hasn't been a lot of fanfare about this, has there?
Well, it hasn't. He doesn't speak a lot in the media. He's pretty private. It hasn't been a great week for him. He had his house broken into at the start of the week as well.
Nice.
But a 4-time best and fairest, 3-time All-Australian. Yeah. Part of that Melbourne Premiership side, which will go down in folklore for the Demons, and he was such a key catalyst for it.
I know there was a few dips last year in the pre-season, a lot of speculation around all that sort of stuff, but you take that aside, he's been an absolute star. A guy who can win the football on the inside, get on the outside really quickly, a decent ball user going inside 50. He's been a very good player for a long period of time for Melbourne.
And to have 4 best and fairest in his back pocket when you've got Max Gawn and Petrarca there. Also Stephen May and Jake Lever, who've been unbelievable players as well. So, it's a fair resume that he's built at Melbourne.
We had Jake Melcham join us last week off the back of his 5 goals against North Melbourne. Simon Goodwin backed that up and said he thinks there's a role for him to play beyond this season. Cosy Pickett is spending more time in the midfield, and
there's certainly a role for Jake Lever. Like, this is the thing
Jake Melcham.
Jake Melcham, sorry. Jake Melcham. There's certainly a role for Jake Melcham. World Sport's showing us age doesn't really matter anymore. It's about how you prepare yourself from a physical and a mental point of view. And Melcham certainly had some injuries over the journey, but in terms of his speed, his football IQ, Collingwood are proving that to all in football, that as long as a player is still mentally and physically ready to go, they can be big contributors to a team.
25 goals, Jake Melcham, and I think it was 6 and then 5. He's got a little bag in the last 3 weeks. I think he's had a really good a small period there. He's been fantastic.
Yeah, 14 goals, 8 in the last 3 games. Adam Romanascus and Brent Harvey are your experts. We'll keep you across the West Coast. Eagles take you on the Tigers from Perth, where Jack Petrocelli and James Trezise is the sub. Matt Clinch and Lauren Borden to call the action. The final member of our team sitting in the front row is the birthday girl tonight. Very warm welcome to you, Lex Pesce.
It is a birthday of mine, 21 today, if anyone's wondering. It is, you guys mentioned the weather, but it's actually quite nice down here. It's not too cold, which is quite nice. Clayton Oliver did the toss tonight for the Demons. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get the early win. Patrick Cripps got that one. He's opted to go to the City end, so Carlton's first win of the night.
Thanks, Lex. Looking forward to your contributions throughout the night. Rama, Boomer, who's winning tonight?
I've got the Demons.
Yeah, I think Melbourne.
I was here last week calling their game, and I thought their best was really good. Still got a lot of improvement, but yeah, Melbourne for me.
Melbourne really only have 3 out from their first selected team: Sparrow, Petty, and Lever. So they should be getting the job done.
12th and 13th on the AFL ladder, a chance to record their 7th win of the season. Carlton and Melbourne from the MCG. Here's Lauren Borden to get us underway.
Umpire slams the ball into the turf of the MCG. It's Pitnet who gets the first tap out, looking for Cripps. Just goes over the top of his head. He can bend down, pick it up and hand pass towards Williams, who spins around in a 360 to evade the tackle. Hand pass across to Pitnet to Cripps, inside 50 for Carlton. A shallow entry will be brought down by Rivers, who just gets a kick away as he's being tackled. Only as far as Sard will put a repeat entry back inside 50 for the Blues. May brings it to ground. Moya has a little chip kick. It gets as far as Hollands. He can hand pass it back to Curnow, who puts it through. And Curnow hasn't scored many goals across the past few weeks. He's gone goalless the last 4 matches, but he scores his first goal since Carlton played West Coast in round 14, and it's the opener for the Blues as well. Carlton lead by that goal, 1 straight 6 playing Melbourne, yet to score, just 45 seconds played in the opening term. It's Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
You can just see how important centre bounce clearances are, Rama. That was a nice follow-up by Pitney, and I think Patrick Cripps. It wasn't a great kick. Loz, I think you called a shallow entry, and it certainly was, but at least they're lowering their eyes, giving something a little bit different. They've got some lead-up players that can mark the footy, and then the long ball comes in. Curnow was too good for May on the ground. It was a great follow-up by him after the spilt mark, but well done by May.
Brent Harvey with you on ABC Sport. 8 years since Charlie Curnow had gone 4 consecutive weeks without kicking a goal. He starts proceedings here at the MCG. Back in the middle, Gawn wins down the tap against Pitnet. Charging through was Cozzy Pickett. Can't take it cleanly. Bounces off the hands of Sharp. Can't take it for Melbourne. Did get it on to Oliver, though. Gawn with a hand pass out to Pickett. Centering ball looking for Windsor. It's well taken in the end by Evans, who spins out of traffic for the Blues. Looks up for Moyer. Kicks it over his fingertips. And Turner takes intercepting mark for Melbourne.
And that's the frustrating kick for the Carlton fans. So Evans is out there. Moyer's got the space, should hit the target.
Switches into the back pocket for May. Motlop did well not to give away the free kick, but then overran the footy. The Demons with a chance to clear. McVie works it out to half-back, where Langford's involved. And a second time as he receives it back from Sharp. They run the members' wing. Hand pass to Van Rooyen, and he thumps his hands in frustration as he puts it out on the full. Kick is well wide of Jake Melcham, and a free kick going the way of Carlton.
That's come off the
half-back.
That's come off the instep of his foot. That's harder to do than not do, Rammer. That was unbelievable, that kick. Sideways it went.
So it's Harry O'Farrell who gets the footy thrown to him to take the free kick for Carlton. Just goes long back down the line. Pitnet to Gawn in a one-on-one. Gawn mark sliding on the turf to hold on to the grab. Left half back for the D's. So a ping-pong back and forth, and Gawn will retreat a little. And kick backwards towards May, who marks just outside defensive 50 for the D's.
Take it back really quickly to the Rama. You said that kick just has to hit. I like the theory of it. You've got to drop your eyes because he had him there. But that's just an execution. That's a 15, 20 metre lower your eyes.
So he's just chipping the footy forward to Viney, who kicks from centre wing right down to a pack as well. And it's Wiedering that puts his hands above it and stands tall to intercept it for Carlton.
Why I say it, Ashton Moyer is a young player. He's made the space early in a game. That would build his confidence so much if he can get that mark inside forward 50.
So Wiedering goes back down the wing again. It could be coming back towards him as Melbourne emerge with the footy. Bowie has it. He flares it out wide and can chip it away to Langford, who marks in front of the benches. He tries to curl it around the boundary line. This time he keeps it in as far as Melksham, and they punch it over the boundary line for a throw-in. So it'll be a throw-in at half forward for the D's, kicking towards the punt road end of the MCG in this first quarter. It's Carlton leading by 6 points, 3.5 minutes played. Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Viney alongside Zach Williams. Cozzy Pickett has the company of Adam Chera and Patrick Cripps alongside Clayton Oliver as this ball is thrown back in. Tom de Koning in attack once more as Pitnet does the ruck work against Gawn. Gawn got it down to the front. Oliver's hand pass to Pickett. Too sharp for Langford. It crashed into his own opponent, teammate Viney. Socket forward by Cripps up to the wing. De Koning can't gather it down low. Tom McDonald, little fumble, trying to tap it to Bowie's advantage. Fogarty knocks it on for the Blues. Got it to TDK. Hand pass to Curnow. Chips it up to Motlop at right half forward on the members' side. He has Moyer as the deepest target. Jesse Motlop in the long sleeves is reluctant initially.
Jeez.
Call to play on as he stepped off his line. Now he has to go long to Moyer. Made good body contact against Turner, but couldn't take the mark. The hand pass from Windsor to May. His kick is chopped off. Motlop takes the mark for the Blues.
He puts it straight inside 50, misses its target. It allows Chandler away in. Hand pass across to Petrarca. He hand passes backwards to Bowie, shares it with Petrarca again, and he'll flare the kick out to Van Rooyen, southern wing of the MCG in some space. Can hand pass to Fritsch. Will go long now, right to the top of the 50, hoping for a mark from Melksham, who marks at 55 metres out. Dinky kick towards Pickett, just doesn't quite make him. Pickett will recover, head for goal, and he'll put it through as well for Melbourne's first. End to end from Melbourne. And it's Pickett with the goal that draws scores level at the MCG. Very early stages of the opening term, just 5 minutes played. It's 1 goal apiece. Yet ABC Sport experts Adam Ramanauskas and Brent Harvey.
Well, Boom, you take it back to Jesse Motlop and the turnover inside forward 50. So he kicks long. Jesse Motlop inside Carlton's forward 50, comes back out. He takes the mark again. Then he has the option. He just can't hit the target. Melbourne then take the ball other side of the ground. With precision, really. Pickett should have marked that ball, but he's so skillful inside forward 50. Cozzy Pickett goes on his left foot and gets Melbourne's first goal. But take it back, and they've missed those 2 targets now going inside forward 50. So Boomer and I spoke about missing targets in the middle of the ground through attack, but inside 50, when you're free and open, you've got to hit those targets.
Adam Ramanauskas with you on ABC Sport. Up to 31 goals for the season. Cozzy Pickett leading possession getter so far with 4. Back in the middle of the ground, it's tapped down the way of Hewitt. He started on the bench and he's locked up by Christian Petrarca. The umpire will ball it up just to the left of the centre circles here at the MCG. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Gawn wins down the tap. Shark by Hewitt. Squeeze the kick forward. Cripps can't take it. Langford gets a hand pass back for Melbourne to Bowie. Across half back. It's Turner who looks for a risky kick to switch it to Windsor. Had to sit underneath it. Good work by White who brought it down to Evans. He's tackled. Gets a hand pass out. Moyer tries to gather down low. Windsor puts the body contact on him. Moyer kept it alive. Hand pass to Evans. Feeds the hand pass away to Lord. Kicks to the top of the goal square. Charlie Curnow. He rises and takes the mark in the left forward pocket.
He'll go quick here. He usually does. He's only a couple of metres out.
Steps out, opens up the angle, and Charlie Curnow has 2 in the opening 7 minutes. Having been kept goalless in the previous 4 weeks, he is showing his intent early here and a chance to try and cash in. The Blues take back the lead, 2 straight 12 to Melbourne 1 straight 6. 7 minutes gone on Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport with Adam Ramanauskas and Brent Harvey.
Stephen May has been such a terrific defender for Melbourne, but what he's really struggled with is players that move and get back to the ball and then come back and tick lead back up to the football. He's going to have real trouble tonight with Charlie Curnow. His movement looks terrific. He's got the opening 2 goals in this quarter there. Stephen May just lost total body contact with Curnow because he's on the move, Boomer.
May likes to look at the football and come forward and use his body strength. But again, I hope this is not the case for the whole night, Rammer, but the turnover from Turner, it was across the ground. It was a 45-metre switch. The ball was in the air for way too long.
De Koning and Gorn back in the middle. Tap down comes to Vinus, taken in a strong tackle by Cripps. Holding the footy, free kick to the Blues, and Cripps almost looks like he wants to move it on quickly to Saad, then just holds back a little and launches off his boot right into a hot spot inside 50 for the Blues. Curnow driving through, couldn't take the mark. Rivers has it, skies the footy up high, and it'll be a mark to Carroll, who's run his way through for Carlton.
Yeah, it's a great mark. It's a great mark. Eyes on the football, and the pack was emerging on him. Fantastic grab.
Went a long way up in the air, and he had to follow it the whole time and take the mark right on the top of 50. So it looks like he might be taking aim for this one. Matthew Carroll hasn't kicked a goal yet in the 12 games he's played. Opens the angle, puts plenty on it, has the distance, not quite a couple of metres short, will stay in play. McVee going after it for the Ds. It's at the bottom. Having a go is Motlop. He couldn't get it any further as the kick got smothered. It comes back in the end to Evans, who tries to soccer it through. It'll be another go here through Moyer, and this time it's Moyer that finishes. A little bit messy in the goal square, a few kicks a goal, and in the end it's Moyer, though, who gets the desired result for the Blues. They're 3 straight 18, leading the Ds 1 straight 6. 9 minutes played in the opening term. Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Well, that was just chaos football. The ball came in, they had 3 or 4. Motlop got smothered. There was another kick off the ground, I think there was, and there was a lot of numbers around the ball. It actually looked like an under-10 little game there for a second, but you know what? When it's chaos ball and things can happen, it was a great finish. Really smart play by Moyer.
Boomer, 7 inside 50s to 1 now for the Blues. So they started this game really well. 3 goals to 1. Possession, they're comfortably leading contested football. They're up, so they're doing a good job here. The Blues are getting a little bit of value for money. It was a bit scrappy, no doubt, that inside forward 50, but when there is some chaos, you've just got to be first to the football, and Carlton certainly were then.
Adam Ramanaskas and Brent Harvey with you for Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport. Back in the middle, Gorn wins down the tap to Viney. Out past to Pickett, kicks out looking for Bailey. Fritsch can't take the mark. Haynes chopped the arms and gave away the free kick. And Fritsch will take it on the Shane Warne wing. Veers out into the middle of the ground. Drives Melbourne deep inside 50. Just their second inside 50. Kick for Melcham. Back with a fly to Carlton player who didn't have eyes on the ball. And it will be a shot on goal for Jake Melcham.
He's in some good form. So Jake Melcham was pointing out to the fat side of the ground, the open side of the ground, and when his Carlton direct opponent looked back at the ball carrier, he darted back to the other side, the skinny side of the ground. Sensational forward craft.
Harry O'Farrell was the player trying to get back for the Blues, didn't have eyes on the ball, so an easy call for the umpire. And Jake Melcham looking to continue this red-hot run of form. 25 goals, 19 for the season. But it's the last 3 weeks where he has lit it up for Melbourne. Taking his full 30 seconds in the right forward pocket. Only about 20 metres out from goal. The Demons need a response, and Jake Melcham provides it just for them. The Demons with their second goal after the Blues have put on 2 quick goals in succession, and Carlton's lead is cut back to 6 points. 3 straight 18 to Melbourne, 2 straight 12. Adam Ramanaskas and Brent Harvey with you for Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
It just eases the pressure a little bit there. O'Farrell will learn from that. Wiedering, it looked like Wiedering had him sort of cold, but lost contact again. Wiedering, so it's not dissimilar to Stephen May down the other end, losing contact with Charlie Curnow. Good kick by Bailey Fritsch out in front there. You know, it's such a hard position to be in with O'Farrell, young defender.
It's impossible now.
You just got to try and turn your body at the very, very last moment. Turn your body and try get some eyes on the footy.
5 straight goals to start the game. It's Carlton leading by 1 straight kick. It's back in the middle. De Koning and Van Rooyen go at it. Van Rooyen rises high, taps it down. Sharp has a go at it. Can't funnel it away for the Ds. It's all scrappy in the middle until Langdon can pull it out. Hand pass to Oliver, hand pass to Pickett, who just tried to scrub the kick as far as he could get it. Still in the centre of the MCG. Van Rooyen has a go at it, pushes it behind him for Pickett to kick it to half forward. Fritsch has a chance at it. He can't pick it up cleanly. And in the end, it's Saad that grabs it, hand passes it across to Cowan. He flares it out to the wing where Doherty will mark and steady things a little for the Blues. So he has the footy at left half back for Carlton, just in front of the Melbourne bench. Tries to get some distance on his kick and get it all the way to half forward 4. The Blues. May went up with 2 hands. Couldn't take the mark. Here's Moyer, who was at the drop, just kicks the ball towards goal, hoping for a kind bounce and for perhaps for his teammate to run onto it, and Will White, who couldn't get there. And they just run it through for a minor score. So the first blemish for tonight, it's Carlton 3-1-19 leading Melbourne, 2 straight 12 minutes played.
If you want to join us on the SMS, 0437 774 774 throughout the night, as Bowie brings the Demons back into play. To Tom McDonald at half-back. Kicks up the Warne wing where Petrarca marks. He slipped over, looking to play on against Wiedering, so has to get a hand pass back to Tom McDonald. Kicks out wide, looking for Fritsch in the long sleeves. He marks centre wing on the outer side. Fritsch forced to push back behind his mark as he now veers out to the left and looks up inside 50. It's a worm burner up to Clayton Oliver, who gathers in game 200. Sends Melbourne inside 50, in from the side. It's brought down in the end by Jefferson. Hewitt's at the bottom of the pack. It's a hand pass to Chera. Ricochets out to Pitnet. Kick is smothered. Fell into the lap of Bowie, who fires on goal and misses to the left-hand side. In fact, missed everything out of bounds on the full. So the Blues still by 7 points. 14 minutes gone opening term. Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
I've just been watching Cozzy Pickett, Rama, run around with no one near him, 15, 20, 25 metres.
So Hewitt moves the footy down to Curnow, marks it right half back for the Blues, and again he'll wind it round the boundary line right to half forward, although it's McDonald who sits there and takes the mark for the Ds. He'll chip backwards towards Salem. We'll just chip it forward 15 metres to Bowie, who's still in defensive 50 for the Ds. And he'll go towards Rivers. So Rivers takes the mark, has McDonald running near him. Moyle's around Rivers as well. He's happy to hold on to the footy until he's told to play on, and just chips the kick towards Langdon. So slow play here up from the D's until he hand passes back to Rivers, who'll kick the footy right through the middle of the MCG to get it to half forward. Pack at the back. Doherty is there for the drop for the Blues. Hand passes it. It'll be stolen though by Windsor, who's tackled by Williams. And the ball will be locked up at left half forward for Melbourne, where there'll be a ball up. It is Carlton leading by 7 points, 14.5 minutes played in the opening term.
Thrown up Van Rooyen and Pitnet. Neither got a decisive tap. Petrarca came streaming through. Got a hand pass to Viney. Chips it inside 50. Haynes makes the spoil against Fridge. First back onto it. Hand pass back to Wiedering. Hemmed in as Doherty's kick is smothered. Jefferson sees it out of play for a throw-in in the left forward pocket for the Demons. So Rammer after those inside 50s was 7-1. It's now 8-4 the way of the Blues still.
Yeah, well, they're starting to even things up, Melbourne, particularly around the contest. Petrarca's starting to get his hands on the ball. Viney's starting to get his hands on the ball. That then allows a territory gain.
Sard alongside Pickett at this stoppage as Pitnet knocks it down to the front. Petrarca's onto it for Melbourne. Hand pass looking for Viney. It's volleyed out by Williams. Only a half back though. Pickett got down low. Was looking for high contact. No whistle. Cowan gets a hand pass out to Chera. Kick smothered by Windsor. Stays alive for Melbourne inside the forward 50. Cowan tries to soccer it towards the boundary line. And he does so successfully for a throw in just outside the 50 for the Demons. Carlton by 7 points. 16 minutes gone opening term. A cheerio to Lockie, Ann and Lizzie in New South Wales. Looking forward to the call. The Greg Wells Cup, of course, played for Melbourne and Carlton, switching mid-season in 1980.
The umpire tosses the ball in at half forward for the D's. Pitnet grabs it, hand pass to Chera, hand pass it to Williams, who puts it on his boot. Salem tries to mark it, can't quite take it. It's Melbourne that'll emerge. Van Rooyen, hand pass to Chandler, hand pass to Bowie, whose kick is smothered by Young. The ball skies up in the air. Viney has a go at it, can't take it. Chandler barges in again and picks up the loose footy. Hand pass to Windsor, who dodges around Doherty, puts the kick inside 50, perfect for Pickett, who was left alone as well in the forward 50 for the D's.
Well, he wasn't left alone. Adam Sard decided to leave him. So Adam Sard edged towards boundary side, Pickett edged towards corridor, because that's where he thought Caleb Windsor was going to kick it. I would say your odds are better to stay with Pickett than edge yourself towards the boundary.
One would think so.
It's a bit of smart play there from Pickett, who found himself in some space. He'll kick from almost directly in front.
That's the result.
And the result is a goal. Pickett's second for the first quarter as well. And that lead of Carlton's just cut back to 1 point. 3 straight 18 Melbourne, 3-1-19 the Blues. 17 minutes played in the opening term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
So I'm starting to really like Pickett's game. So he's playing like let's call it a Dusty Martin type of role, where he starts in the centre bounce and then plays forward straight after the centre bounce. And we've got the privilege of watching the replay up here. And Rama, you called that very well. Sard, I'm not sure where he was going. Why are you going to the boundary?
Yeah, exactly.
And he's playing on one of the informed players in the competition at the minute. Cozzy Pickett is on fire. So he's starting to centre bounce right now. From here, he will go forward and he'll play in between. It's a really good role for him, and they don't know who's on him.
Lex Pesce down on the boundary.
Funnily enough, Michael Voss said in his weekly press conference, putting time into Pickett was one of their top priorities, but it's not working right now.
I think his facial expression in the coach's box said all that needed to be said from a Carlton perspective. And Sam Doherty lays a tackle on Sharp, trying to break through from the centre clearance. And the umpire will ball it up just short of half forward for the Demons. Carlton by 1 point, but Melbourne with the last 2 goals in the match. Pitnet wins down the tap. Trying to charge his way through was Chero. He's locked up by Max Gorm, but taken high. And he'll take the free kick for the Blues. Just across half-back. He wants to get the hand pass out before he gets to his feet to Ollie Hollands, who sends it up towards the 50. Moyer flies in the pack. Tom McDonald was there. Sharp will get onto it first. Can't tape it as Doherty puts the pressure on. Turner taps it towards the boundary line, and McVie takes it across. Carlton 3-1-19 and Melbourne 3 straight 18. Earlier today it was the Sydney Swans who prevailed by 31 points over North Melbourne. Isaac Heaney with 34 disposals, 13 clearances and 5 goals. And the Hawks got their revenge against Port Adelaide, a 38-point win with 5-1 in the final term.
Pitnet and Gorn meet each other, palm it down. McDonald's the one first to the footy, close to the boundary line, kicking down the southern wing. Fritsch just couldn't manage to juggle it next to Hollands. And it goes out of bounds for a throw-in the outer side of the ground, half forward for the Blues. So Corey Durden, the sub for Carlton tonight. Xavier Lindsay for Melbourne. In the 10th Carlton Respects game, they've got the orange socks, the orange numbers, and a little bit of orange trimming on their jumper as well. Have the Blues as Oliver just soccers it out from the contest. It goes straight to Cowan, though, of the Blues, who can mark the footy, load his kick up as he puts it inside 50 for Carlton. And it's an intercept mark there from McVie, who just came chiming in from the side to hold on to the footy for the Demons. Chips it towards Turner in the pocket, who goes down the wing looking for Sharp. But across came Young just to intercept it, punch it over the line and stop the footy from going out of Carlton's inside 50.
Yeah, he made up about 30 metres there, Young. So, terrific defensive application.
He read it really well, but Turner, again, he just lobbed the ball. He's got to punch that one through when you're playing down back. Get it to a player who can turn and play on. Too slow.
Brent Harvey with you on ABC Sport. 2 goals to Charlie Curnow, 2 goals to Cozzy Pickett early. Max Gawn wins down the tap. Slacked forward by Langford to the advantage of Viney. Soccers it off the ground. Bounces off Ollie Hollands. It's kept alive by Zach Williams. Hand pass to Doherty to Hewitt, who can't break away from the Jack Viney tackle. Umpire says he had no prior opportunity and will ball it up. The left half forward for the Blues, who lead by a point still. Hitnet and Gawn once more. Tangle in a physical contest. Hitnet tries to take it to the ruck. He's tackled by Gawn. No whistle. Sharp's on the bottom of the pack, and the umpire will have to... In fact, it's Tholstrup who's on the bottom of the pack, and the umpire will have to ball it up. That fluffy blonde hair starting to emerge.
The ball's been stuck in that pocket or the top of the 50 for a long time as Doherty just clears the footy. It'll be close to the boundary line. It'll be out of bounds on the full.
And that's a good result for Carlton. If they can get the ball stuck in their forward 50 or just on their 50 and get repeat stoppages, it builds pressure. Hence that kick from Melbourne. Under pressure, goes out the full. They get another inside 50.
Speed of Melbourne kickers. Carroll takes the free kick for Melbourne, just puts it into the pocket where it'll bounce. And like you said, Boom, a good result. They've got it into their forward 50 for a throw in about 15 metres around from their left behind post.
And what this allows them to do, it allows Carlton to set up behind the ball. So if they do get if Melbourne are lucky enough to clear it, hopefully Carlton have set up well enough. Again, ball goes back inside 50.
Here's the Blues leading by just 1 point as Pitnet gets in front of Gawn, who goes to ground. Sharp taps it away into the path of Tholstrup. Hand pass to Oliver, who hand passes it into the middle of the ground to Jefferson. Puts the kick out wide. In the end, it's Jefferson actually who's running onto the footy, who just palms it all the way into the forward 50. He can't pick it up in the end and allows Wienering to come in and clear it away for the Blues.
Kicks it up towards Will White. Can't take the mark. Spinning out of traffic. Salem did well. Got a hand pass to McVie. Looks into the middle of the ground where Langdon can take the mark. Now Melbourne have the overlap here as he chips it out to Sharp. He plays on. Looks up. Petrarca's on the lead. It clears his fingertips. And Carroll takes the mark for the Blues. 45 metres out from his defensive goal. Carlton leading by a point. Matt Carroll sends it out to left half back where the mark is taken by Hollands and now moves it further up the wing. And a chance here for Young, who has been playing a defensive role to start this match on Christian Salem, starting an attack for the Blues. From the centre of the Shane Warne stand wing, sends it up towards De Koning. Nudged Stephen May out of it, tried to get a hand pass forward. Salem wins it back for the Demons, almost brought down. Gets a hand pass to May and now away to Max Gawn.
Gawn just with a chip kick right into the centre of the MCG. Oliver chasing after it. In the end, Williams taps it away from him and he steals the footy for the Blues. Goes inside 50 for Carlton. The ball will spill at the back of the pack. It'll need to be pushed through in the end by White. And he just misses to the left side.
He celebrated.
A few fans went up too.
He's kissed the jumper. Oh, I love
Not
that.
to be though for him. It's just an extra point for Carlton. So their lead extends to 2.
Just missed it, hit the very bottom of the post on the left goal post. As the Demons bring it back into play. Turner takes the mark from the Salem kick in. He's going to switch it back to Stephen May. He marks 15 metres out from his defensive goal.
That's something that Boomer would have done.
I would have made sure it went through, mate.
There you go. That's the response. Stephen May kicks out to Langford, who takes the mark. So May returns from illness. Jake Lever having frustration with that ankle. He's out of the lineup as well. As Langford at half back for the Demons. Sends it long in the Van Rooyen direction. Tom De Koning comes charging out. He takes the mark and streams forward. Doesn't break stride. Looks inside 50. Moyer the target. May gets back. Got a hand to it. Got it down to Tom McDonald. Chips it out to Bowie.
That's the
left back pocket.
And that's the one, Rami, you were talking about before. And young, inexperienced player versus Stephen May. Went back with conviction, eyes on the football, and just got a hand in. Fantastic play.
Bowie puts it down the line. There was Tholstrup surrounding it. Van Rooyen's there in the pack, and he holds on to the mark.
I reckon he needs a big 6 weeks, Van Rooyen, just for his own confidence going into next season.
Spent a bit of time in the VFL, back into the side. He kicks down the line. It'll be coming back his way as Carroll intercepts the footy and just chips it towards O'Farrell right in front of the interchange benches. He moves it 15 metres down the line towards Evans, who marks.
Yeah, it certainly hasn't been his year. But again, you want to go into pre-season with some momentum. So playing well over this next month, 6 weeks is important.
9 goals, 4 from 11 matches tonight. Jacob Van Rooyen, the kick up towards the forward pocket for the Blues is spoiled out of play by Tom McDonald from the Francis Evans kick.
I'm a bit confused by that play. That's the one I'm talking about with Carlton. You mark the football, you had the Melbourne defenders running back to goal scrambling, but you hold on for it for 6, 7, 8 seconds, then kick it into a 2v2.
Grant Harvey and Adam Ramanauskas with you on ABC Sport. Non-officiating umpires blown the whistle. Free kick going Carlton's way. I think it's Adam Chera off the ball who's going to get a free kick at right half forward for the Blues. They're 3-2-20 to Melbourne 3 straight 18. Charlie Curnow with a couple of goals and Cozzy Pickett for the Demons. Sends it long inside 50. Curnow's the target. Max Gawn makes the spoil. Fritsch is gathering inside the defensive 50. Hand pass to Tholstrup. Had to try and get a hand pass away. Francis Evans lays a good tackle and will be rewarded. There's a hot ball for Viney to try and take possession, and then eventually was tackled and lost it straight away.
Yeah, it was a poor handball though. He probably should have cleared the area. He gave it to Viney, who was 30 centimetres away from him.
Evans puts the kick inside 50, falls to the back to Gawn, punches off, bounces off his chest though. Bowie's there to collect. Hand pass it to McVie. Hand pass to Turner. Hand pass to Oliver, who's still deep in the goal square. Decides to put it on his boot to get a clearing kick to the top of the 50. Chandler just paddles it out of the 50. Rich does the same to get it to Petrarca. Hand pass across to Sharp. The umpire's found a free kick and it'll be coming back. And it looks like it'll be a Carlton free kick.
No, I think, is it? Yeah,
For what?
I missed that one myself.
Just a bit of a messy play getting it out there. A few taps to gradually get it out of defensive.
Well, it's clearly against Bailey Fritsch, but...
So a Sam Doherty free kick
it's
up.
a throw.
So it's a Sam Doherty free kick. He puts the Blues inside 50 and tackled over the line is Young. So it'll be a throw in right at the top of the 50 for the Blues. They're leading by 2 points. Late stages of the opening term Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Lauren Borton and Matt Clinch calling the action. Lex Pesce down on the boundary. Adam Ramanauskas and Brent Harvey, your experts, thrown back into play. Gawn takes front position against De Koning, slaps it forward, but only as far as Doherty for the Blues. Out pass inboard to Chera, hurries a kick inside 50. White was caught from behind, and he gave away the free kick with a hold on Tom McDonald. He was in animated conversation with Stephen May a few moments ago. It would be fascinating to know how often those conversations take place where Stephen May just voices his opinion. McDonald out towards right half-back where Sharp takes the mark. They're in transition here, Melbourne, because Fritsch has space on Haynes. He can play on look-up, Melcham the target, and he juggles the mark in the right forward pocket on the third bite. At 2 or 3 metres on Jacob Wiedering, although this is a tough shot in the right forward pocket, 45 metres out from goal.
The worst thing about that for Carlton, he actually had 3 options. He had Petrarca running back towards goal. Melcham was hitting up, and I think there was another Melbourne player who probably could have got used short as well. Quick ball movement, Rama. That's what it is.
Catches Carlton now. Their defenders are far too high up the ground.
He mentioned his form, Jake Melcham, in recent weeks. Boomery has 1 already tonight. The stat was 4 goals in 3 consecutive weeks for the first time since 2006. David Neat's the last player to do so for the red and the blue. As Melcham on cue fires on goal and puts it out on the full, so trying to give him a big build-up, and he misses to the near side all the way. Carlton by 2 points. The Demons with an inside 50 there, but it has been 18-9 the way of the Blues in this opening quarter.
Brought in by Haynes, who clears with the kick outside of defensive 50. Gawn can tap it down to bring it to ground. Oliver was going after it for the Ds. It was De Koning in the end that picked it up, hand passed it to Doherty, who tries to put it down the line for the Blues. Curnow's there to chip it inboard. It goes over the top of his intended target in Fogarty, and it's Pickett that marks it, but he'll be penalised. It'll be a free kick to the Blues and Fogarty, who just chips it into the centre of the ground to Hewitt, who's a little bit indecisive before hand passing to Curnow, whose kick is low and flat, but it works in the end as Chera marks at centre half forward for the Blues.
50.
And it was 50 for running through the protected area, I think.
Yeah, Chandler, I think it is, next to the umpire who they're telling, and he's got his hands on his head, so...
Chera made sure the umpire saw it as well.
It's certainly more than 5 metres away from Christian Salem.
Oh, that's a poor call.
So you're allowed to be there.
You know, over the last 3 weeks, I've seen that probably 50 times, Ramo. It didn't impede. He didn't do nothing wrong.
So Chera skips in from directly in front and makes no mistake. Chera draws the free, gets a bit of favour from the umpires, which is a change from during the week, and he slots through Carlton's fourth. It's 4-2-26, the Blues. That lead extends to 8 points. Melbourne, 3 straight 18. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Your experts, Adam Ramanauskas and Boomer Harvey.
It's a big penalty, Boomer.
It's
late
huge.
in the quarter.
It's huge because look at the replay just now. Here's...
Well, Christian Salem's asking the question here to the umpire. So, one for the push, I think, initially on Chera, but now, secondly, well, why was the 50 called? How close was Chandler to this kind of... So Chandler's... We're watching, get the replay now.
That's 6 metres.
That's comfortably enough.
Yep. You know, if he impedes and the kicker can't kick his ball or something like that and he's not involved in it, let's pay it. But
it's 5 metres, yeah? Clinchy, 5 metres?
Yep.
He's more than 5 metres away.
So a costly penalty there for the Demons. Carlton stretch their lead back out to 8 points. Pitnet wins down the tap against Gawn. Although a chance for the Demons. Windsor couldn't get a disposal away. Chera takes it back for the Blues. Hand pass to Doherty. Down low for Sard. Couldn't reel it in. Melbourne a chance to just knock it forward. Petrarca into the path of Fridge. Knocks it on to Chandler. Keen to redeem himself. Hand pass to Petrarca. Kicks towards the teeth of goal. Melcham the deepest target against Wiedering. And Wiedering holds on to front position.
Yeah, just way too strong. Belgium was trying to shift him off the ball, but Wiedering, must have strong legs, strong core. Well done.
Lunging forward to hang on to the chest mark just before it hit the turf. And Wiedering sends the Blues out of defence, but Curnow can't get a run at it. I think it's out on the full. If it wasn't, it would have been a mark to Stephen May at right half forward. The Blues by 8 points, 4-2-26 to Melbourne 3-8-18.
He just chips it slightly inboard towards Gawn, who loads up on his kick to get it inside 50. Wiedering coming in. Easily intercepts the footy for the Blues. Just came in, read the kick from Gawn.
Well, he's got to kick it straight back to him.
That's exactly the way he's looking to go along that southern wing, and he does. He just puts plenty on the kick to get to the contest. Pitnet was at the front, tried to mark it, couldn't hold on to it. Cripps will go in running after it. The siren sounds to mark quarter time here at the MCG. Here's the Blues 4-2-26, leading Melbourne 3 straight 18. So Carlton's lead 8 points, just extended the last couple of minutes of that term from Chera's goal that he kicked off the back of a 50-metre penalty. We've already got a couple of multiple goal kickers tonight. One on the Carlton side of the page in Charlie Curnow, who's got 2. Adam Chera with that single and Ashton Moyer with 1. And then for the D's, Cozzy Pickett's got 2 and Jake Melksham with the 3rd for the D's. It is Carlton ahead by 8 points at quarter time, Clinchy.
Earlier today, it was the Sydney Swans who defeated North Melbourne by 31 points, their 3rd win on the trot. Isaac Heaney had 34 disposals, 13 clearances and 5 goals, while the Hawks had a 38-point win over Port Adelaide, which sees them move to 4th on the AFL ladder. 5-1 in the final term, which Jack Gunston and Jarman Impey both booted 3. It was Jack Ginnivan who got the final word in the last quarter with his aeroplane celebration, throwing back to the Ken Hinkley dramas, of course, which took place in the finals last year. Great to have your company on Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
First gig, favourite party tune. Every Aussie song comes with a memory. And on July 26, Triple J and Double J will be counting them down.
Hottest 100 of Australian songs.
Catch it on Triple J, Double J and the Triple J app.
This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Sard will put a repeat entry back inside 50 for the Blues. May brings it to ground. Moyer has a little chip kick. It gets as far as Hollands. He can hand pass it back to Curnow, who puts it through. Melksham, who marks it 55 metres out. Dinky kick towards Pickett, just doesn't quite make him. Pickett will recover, head for goal, and he'll put it through as well for Melbourne's first.
Moyer kept it alive. Hand pass to Evans. Feeds the hand pass away to Lord. Kicks to the top of the goal square. Charlie Curnow. He rises and takes the mark in the left forward pocket. Steps out, opens up the angle, and Charlie Curnow has 2 in the opening 7 minutes.
Motlop, he couldn't get it any further as the kick got smothered. It comes back in the end to Evans, who tries to soccer it through. It'll be another go here, and this time it's Moyer that finishes.
Only about 20 metres out from goal. The Demons need a response, and Jake Melcham provides it just for them.
Chera skips in from directly in front and makes no mistake.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Quarter time at the MCG, and while the Blues have only won 6 games for the season, they have been a fast starting side. The 12th time they've won the opening quarter this season. 4-2-26 to Melbourne, 3 straight 18. Matt Clinch and Lauren Borton calling the action. Lex Pesce down the boundary. The thoughts of our experts, Brett Harvey and Adam Romanascus.
Well, inside 50's been with that quarter were 19-11 in Carlton's favour. So terrific from that point of view, getting the ball inside forward 50. Only the 6 scoring shots, though, in that quarter. So what Melbourne were doing, obviously, they clearly understood that Carlton were on top. Numbers were getting back. You could see on a fair few occasions when Carlton were looking to go quick inside forward 50, Melbourne simply had the numbers back, clogging up that forward half of the ground. Curnow started the game really well, the first 2 goals of the game for the Blues. But then I thought Stephen May then defended a lot better as that quarter wore on. It's clearly a tough matchup for Curnow, but for Stephen May, sorry. But he eased into that quarter quite well. Tackles really low, both teams, 12-7. 7 tackles for Melbourne. That's Simon Goodwin will be really disappointed with that number, simply just not putting enough pressure on the ball or around the contest. Now, intercept marks is going to be an interesting one tonight. So Wiedering's got the matchup on Jake Melcham. We've spoken at length about Melcham and how what type of form he's been in over recent weeks. Wiedering took the 3 intercept marks in that quarter. Now, 2 of those were late. Where Melcham will get Wiedering if the ball comes in fast and low, because clearly he can then get the step on him. So those last 2 intercept marks that Wiedering took, they were just simply long and high balls coming in from 70 or 80 metres out. So that's where they're just got to be a little bit smarter further up the ground, Melbourne. Whether it's just waiting a moment to allow Melcham to double lead, because you'll get the space on a Wiedering or a Nick Haynes or O'Farrell, whoever that matchup is. But just holding that kick for a moment to allow Melcham to do his work.
Rama, you mentioned the 19-11 inside 50s Carlton's way, and there was a lot of repeat inside 50s when Loz was calling. The ball was stuck in that forward pocket for Carlton there for 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes. So they got a lot of repeat inside 50s. I actually feel like Carlton could be a little bit more up if they got their ball use right. We spoke about them dropping their eyes early, but the kicks weren't executed very well. So if they can continue to do that, because we know that Melbourne play back shoulder. Yep. We know that May and Turner and these type of guys, they'd love to play back shoulder. So if you can hit up the football, there's a little path to goal there for the Blues. I thought Melbourne got themselves back in the game on the back of some pressure. I know the tackles are low, but there was a couple of smothers right in front of us. And then Melbourne kicked the goal straight from there. And I'm really going to be, Loz, I think you said that they did a little bit of work on Cozzy Pickett during the week, or they're certainly going to be watching him. Well, I want to see what they do, because he's playing
2 goals.
He's at 8 possessions, is it? And 2 goals. That's what he does. He hits a scoreboard because he plays in the forward 60, forward 70 part of the ground. So he's starting in the the centre bounce right now. Hewitt's on him, but then he'll go forward, and there's a confusion. There's a 10 or 20 second confusion. Yeah. Who's on Cozzy Pickett? So that's where he gets his touches and kicks his goals.
Carlton by 8 points as we're set to get the second term underway. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Clayton Oliver alongside Patrick Cripps has gone, and Pitnet once more tangle. Pitnet wins down the tap to Chera, tries to fend off the tackle of Viney. Kicks up towards half forward. Evans caught behind. Salem tackle dispossessed. Hewitt kicks inside 50. Motlop back with a fly. Couldn't hang on. He tried to go with it one-handed and couldn't claim it as Windsor clears of the D's. Up towards Tolstrup. It's spoiled away from him. Ollie Hollins is dragged down and gone. Yep. Tolstrup wins the free kick for the Demons at right half back.
He certainly tried to fight that tackle there, Ollie Hollins. Right decision.
Now,
well done.
2 minds trying to step around him on the mark, and Hollins makes the spoil. Tolstrup tackles him out of play.
That's really well done by Ollie Hollins. Make the mistake, clean it up.
Charlie Curnow Rama with 2 goals in that first quarter, so a relief for him after 4 consecutive games where he was goalless. He'd managed 9 behinds across those 4 games. Thrown back in. Gorn and Pitnet. Umpire spotted something he didn't like.
Had the 6 possessions also in that quarter. Curnow, but I thought after the 2 goals he was quiet for the remainder of that quarter.
Gawn gets the ruck free, moves it across to Salem, who kicks it down to Langdon, who can run his way down the broadcast wing, then pull the kick inside 50 for the Ds, and it's an intercept mark to Carroll this time. And the youngster
that is 50.
Gets 50 metres as Melksham overruns.
I'm okay with that one.
Yeah, so am I. That's a definite 50.
Yeah.
Melksham knew what he was doing there. You could see he simply just got caught.
Yeah, so Melksham was meant to be the player.
Get out of the zone. No, he meant to get out of that zone, protected area.
And he ran over it.
He didn't shoot. He chose not to.
So Carroll kicks across to Hollands, who'll just chip it inside 50 to Curnow, who's on the lead, and will mark 50 metres out, swings around on the kick, and will get distance into the right forward pocket now. Rivers juggles mark for the Ds, and he holds on to it for Melbourne, so that Curnow kick doesn't amount to a score as Rivers holds on to it for the Ds, who are trailing the Blues by 8 points. No change to the quarter-time score.
Rivers looks long up to the wing, sends it into the path of Jefferson, who's up against Sard, couldn't complete the mark, spills out the way of Chandler for Melbourne. Hand pass inboard, looking for Jefferson, tackled by Cripps. They lose possession, the Demons, as Carroll blazes away inside 50 and finds Moyer, who slides in front of Rivers to take the mark. Right of centre, 45 metres out from goal.
Yeah, Rivers didn't know he was coming there. He just come from the side. It was good play and sneaky play, but quick play as well. Rivers was waiting for a chest mark to fall right in his breadbasket, and Moyer, very nice.
Certainly athletic and versatile, and now the challenge to try and capitalise in front of goal. He has 1 already tonight, so 2 for the season. And just his 6th game of AFL footy. Moyer comes in, looking to continue the charge for the Blues. It's a beautiful kick. And they strike first in the second quarter. The last 2 goals of the match to extend the lead to 14 points. 5-2-32 to the Demons, 3 straight 18. And alongside Charlie Curnow, Ashton Moyer kicks his second. Adam Ramanauskas and Brent Harvey with you on ABC Sport.
And Boomer, these are the players that Carlton have got to persist with. So Moyer, 2nd round draft pick. Last year, Billy Wilson's another one that came in for 1 game and went out. They need, bring him back into the team. He's got the speed that that Carlton are looking for. So, clearly some of the older guys are not getting the job done. So, look to the future. Look what you can find over the next 6 weeks. Moyer has looked really good to start this game.
He's certainly got some footy talent, hasn't he? He's just got some IQ that's he looks like a footballer.
Back in the middle, it's Pitnet and Gawn. It comes down to Viney, who tries to kick it out. Can't. It's Pitnet that takes it back. Hand pass to Hewitt, who goes to the top of the 50 for the Blues. Motlop on the end of it. Just chips it into the right forward pocket. It'll be taken, though, by Turner of the Demons, who can clear the kick outside of defensive 50. And Rivers will mark it. Left half back for the Demons. In front of the Shane Warne stand. Just edges the kick towards Langford, who marks just behind centre wing on the outer side of the ground. D's trailing by 14 points. Both of these sides with 6-11 record for the season as he goes back to May, who kicks it across to the broadcast stand side of the ground to Langford. Hand pass to Salem. He'll go round looking for Tolstrup, who can't mark, and it goes over the boundary line for a throw-in, although the Demons have worked it around to their half-forward line. So they trail Carlton by 14 points, 4.5 minutes played in the second term.
But Carlton really defended that well. They got on the outside of their opponents, and when Melbourne switched the ball, which was a good switch, they just had nowhere to go except for a tour contest.
Carlton by 14 points, thrown back in. Gawn slaps it out of Pitnet's hand. Langford shovels a hand pass forward for Melbourne. Doherty picks it off. Hand pass to Chera, kicks it up the wing. Curnow caught behind. May sport it down. A tangle of bodies between Salem and Evans. There's no whistle, so Melbourne get a hand pass out to Jefferson. Kicks up to Oliver. Down low, can't take the mark. Regathers it. Hand pass to Langdon. Around the boundary line. Tholstrup down low. Now, Langdon... No, it might have been over the boundary line. It is a Melbourne free kick, so it's coming back to Tholstrup to take it between wing and half forward for the Demons. Max Gawn has pushed forward. Eventually it goes in that direction, but Jacob Wiedering got back and he's able to rise to take the mark against the Melbourne captain. In the other match in Perth, it's just got underway. The Eagles won 2-8 to the Tigers 1-6. There is an ABC call available. If you're looking for it, just download the ABC Listen app and click on the AFL Extra button. Patrick Cripps, the Carlton captain, around the members' wing, kicks up to Curnow, wants to centre it for De Koning. Salem gets back, gets a fist in there. It lands on the turf. Getting back Langdon, got good support from May. Langdon gets a hand pass to May, who kicks out to Viney at right half back for the Demons.
Viney marks and just steadies things for the D's for a second along the half-back line. Wants his teammates to come forward to him, and then he goes to a 2-on-1. Gorn was outnumbered, got to the front of the pack and pushed it down to Chandler, who can hand pass it across to Melksham, who's in some space, right half forward for the D's, pulls the kick right to the top of the 50, and it'll be a demon mark inside 50, and a set shot at goals with Jefferson on the end of it.
Yeah, well,
he had three options.
He had three options. It was an easy one right in front of him. He's taken the harder one across his body, but gee, it was a good kick.
Beautiful kick.
So Matthew Jefferson now will have the set shot at goal from about a 45-degree angle, just over 45 metres out from goal. So putting in some strong performances in the VFL as well, and kicking bags there when it comes to the MCG tonight to try and get one through for the Demons. Shakes the kick, doesn't make the distance, it falls to Lord, who takes an intercept mark. That was just an awful...
There's something wrong with the ball, let's be fair. He couldn't kick it like that if it wasn't.
And I reckon it just came off the very side of the boot.
I'm tipping it did, Loz,
yeah. And it's the Blues exiting out of 50.
The kick from Nick Haynes up the wing. No mark claim. Petrarca for Melbourne. Hand pass to Fridge to Langdon. Spins out of the Hayes and tackle. Inboard. Cripps tries to bust his way through. His hand pass was volleyed forward by Haynes. It was well done. And Curnow gathers into the middle of the ground. He works it to Fogarty. Just to the right of the AFL logo on the members' side. Can chip it to Curnow, who's streaming down the members' wing. He's got Jesse Motlop as the deepest target, so not really tall timber. So comes inboard to Cripps, who gets the hand pass now to Fogarty. Patient build-up. Chip ball to Williams, taken high.
Wow.
Bolstrup got him in the eyes of the umpire, although Zach Williams was about to turn and fire towards goal.
But Jesse Motlop's got to come back to the ball there. There's so many players are happy to run back towards goal. Where I think it was there was a Cripps or who, it was one of the Carlton boys. They're looking for that shorter target to come and get back up at the ball. But Motlop just did not want to do it.
Zach Williams carried the journey here from about 52.
Take his best.
He starts his set shot run up in the centre square. Tries to gather some momentum and sets fly. It's right to the goal line. Van Rooyen's got back. McVie wants to rush it through. He's keeping it alive for the moment. Almost came to a complete stop. Hand pass to Rivers. Drives the kick out of defence up towards Jefferson, who stands the shove from O'Farrell and takes it at left half back.
It's a little pet hate of mine, that kick there, Rammer. If you don't know your distance, don't have a shot, because that ball should have been punched through, but it landed right next to the goal line, Melbourne.
Practice it at training.
Yep.
Jefferson turns it over to Cowan, who'll now put it inside 50 for the Blues. Curnow just couldn't take the mark, spills off him towards Sharp for the D's, who kicks it out into the centre of the MCG. It's Hewitt that collects from the kick, though, and shares it in a one-on-one with Cowan, and then Hewitt can just chip it out wide towards Lord. Still a couple of kicks from goal for the Blues. And he's just watching what's ahead of him. We'll put it into the forward pocket now for Carlton. Moyer was at the back. Spills behind him to Turner. Hand pass across to Oliver. Hand pass to Salem, and he'll try and curl it around the boundary line, hoping for the safety of one of his teammates. It'll be O'Farrell, though, of the Blues. He collects, hand passes it away. Then Langdon has a go for the Melbourne. Hand passes it away. Desperately, Petrarca will come in, try and fend off his opponent to pick up the footy. Quick hand pass away. Back to Windsor, who can hand pass it away, but in the end it's stolen by Hewitt, and it'll be the Blues that have the footy right through the centre of the ground.
He comes inboard through Fogarty to Sard, who's going to switch it to Haynes, centre of the MCG. And might get to Charlie Curnow on a long searching lead, and Langford takes the intercepting mark. Melbourne can move this quickly because Fritsch is in space. Haynes had to let him go. Doherty tries to corral him. Fritsch swings on his left-hand side, kicks looking for Cozzy. Pickett, he didn't fly. Wiedering dropped the mark. Sard's there to offer support. Hand pass to Haynes, and the Blues are out of defence now as Fogarty sends it up towards Curnow. Stephen May floats in front and juggles the mark for Melbourne.
Terrible kick. He had him in front again. May's been playing back shoulder by about 5 or 6 metres. That one just hung in the air too much again. Got to kick the ball in front of Charlie Curnow so he can run at it.
Look at the grass.
So May goes backwards. Motlop gets a hand on it in front of Salem, and Salem and Motlop are in a tangle. In the end, Cripps comes through, just soccers the footy, trying to bring it to his advantage. He can hand pass it backwards. It's May that collects for the D's. Hand pass to Salem. He pushes it along the ground towards Oliver. Hand pass to May, and Cripps steals it off him. Hand passes it to Fogarty, to Motlop. Hand pass to Moyer, and they're trying to move the footy forward here, Carlton. And Moyer's kick ends in a mark with Curnow. He Still 60 metres out from goal, but he can just chip it forward. And he can find a mark in wide at the top of the 50. And now the Blues are holding on to the footy and looking to press forward again and add to their goal that they've got in this second term.
I hope he's going to pass this one because he certainly hasn't got the distance in his leg. He'll be kicking from 56, 57 metres. Has to go top of the goal square or find someone.
So Will White with the footy back in the side. This match, it's what he does is put it to the top of the goal square and hope that one of his teammates can pull down a mark. De Koning was there, couldn't hold on to it. And in the end, the umpire will come and throw up the footy.
Oh, probably should have marked that in the end.
Oh, he's only had the 4 possessions, Tom De Koning. 1 kick, 3 handballs.
You want the big bucks, Ramy? You got to mark them ones.
Predominantly playing as a forward.
Carlton by 14 points doing the ruck work here against Van Rooyen. Melbourne gather it through Viney. Hand pass to Langdon. Trying to find a way to defence. Hand pass to Windsor. Kick close to the boundary line. Too wide for Jake Melcham. Out of bounds on the full. Free kick going the way of the Blues. Lex Pescia, a bit of rain has arrived at ground level.
Just a little bit, but it's bothering me. I think they'll be right though, the players out there.
Cowan takes the free kick for Carlton inside 50. Gawn's got back. He and Van Rooyen spoil each other. Moyer can't get a disposal away cleanly. It's the challenge of Langdon who's taken high. He'll get a free kick in the left back pocket for the Blues, for the Demons.
Well, we've been a little bit spoiled. We had 7 goals in that first quarter and we had one at the 3-minute mark of this quarter and we haven't had one since.
So he scores one next as Langdon flares it out wide. And out of the 50, marked by Sharp, who puts it out wide. And he was looking for Melcham. It's punched away by Wiedering. And it will be a boundary thrown right at centre wing, Shane Warne's stand side.
I don't mind that, though, by Melcham. He's trying to get Wiedering further up the ground. Wiedering's really dominating in that defensive 50 for the Blues. So get on your bike a little bit, Melcham. Try and get a bit of football up the ground. Make Wiedering come with you.
Koning now into the ruck for the Blues. Gets a tap out towards Hewitt. There'll be a free kick in the ruck contest. And it's going the way of the D's. So there's a free kick the umpire found going the way of Jack Viney. Right at centre wing on the outer side of the ground. Carlton leading by 14 points.
Viney called to play on, so sends Melbourne up inside 50. Max Gawn's gone forward. Big rise in the pack by O'Farrell. Went for the spoil and sees it out of play. No, Langdon kept it alive. Hand pass to Melcham. Screws it back to the teeth of goal. Fritsch in the back. Pickett's the crummer. It spills to Tholstrup. Tackle by Sard. Pickett flies on goal. And misses to the right-hand side. Carlton fans would have been relieved as Tholstrup seemed to just drop the footy. A behind going the way of Melbourne, and Carlton lead by 13 points. Lex Pescia on the boundary.
Just a little fun fact for you. The Blues have lost 5 matches when they're leading at quarter time. That's the most by any team in the comp.
So there you go. That's a real positive news for Carlton fans there.
Sorry,
they led by 8 points at quarter time. The kicking, though, will be a tough one. Haynes has to pick it up. It was along the ground. In comes Langford, who can take the footy. Hand pass to Fritsch, and Melbourne will lock it inside their forward 50. And so the kick in from the Blues will just be stuck inside the forward 50 for the D's. Down to Lex Pescia on the boundary.
But a better one. They are 0-6 when trailing at halftime. Tonight could be the night they change things.
Thanks for trying to, dig yourself out of that hole, Lex, as the ball's tossed in. It'll be hand passed away from Viney, straight into the palm of Sard, though, who clears the kick outside of defensive 50. Curnow trying to run onto it. McDonald's there. His kick ricochets off Curnow, and it comes down towards Fritsch, and Curnow took him high. So it'll be a free kick going the way of the Demons. Right half forward as Fritsch just isn't looking to easily get back up with him and Curnow. Curnow not giving him an inch as finally Fritsch gets up and has the footy. It is Carlton leading by 13 points, 15 minutes played in the second.
In Perth, it's the Eagles who lead the Tigers by 2 points. Fritsch deep into attack. Gawn's the target. Can't take the mark. Haynes gets a hand pass back to Hollands. Adventurous from O'Farrell off the outside of the boot. Kicks out to half back. Fritsch takes the mark once more. So Melbourne with a chance to go inside 50 once more as Bailey Fritsch on that preferred left boot tries to poke it into the pocket, looking for Pickett on the bounce. Can't tap it on to Petrarca. And a boundary throw in the right forward pocket.
Yeah, the ball's been stuck here for a little bit too now. It was on the opposite side of the ground, and again, good result for the forward 50 team in Melbourne.
This is what happens when you have the bottom 7 sides featuring off. We do get exciting patches, and then just 1 goal so far in this second quarter. Beautifully over the back, the palm from Petnet. The Blues get out of defence. The kick up towards Curnow. Carlton fans thought he was held when not in possession, but Rivers sends Melbourne up towards half forward. Haynes spoils it away from Fridge. It stays in. Lord, hand pass away for the Blues into the middle of the ground. Cowan's kick off the outside of the boot, intercepted by Judd McVie for Melbourne. Turns and cuts inboard and finds Bowie.
Bowie then moves it to the other edge of the centre square to Windsor, who has the footy for the D's, just pops the kick inside 50 over the top of Gawn's head. Sard has a kick at it, fresh area. Langford picks it up, hand passes it away. O'Keefe is in there, O'Farrell rather is in there for the Blues, and in the end it bobbles its way outside of the boundary line for a throw in about 45 metres out from the D's goal.
So that is the easiest kick in football. When somebody's leading directly at you and you've got time and space, it's just a little pop kick to let the leading player do the work. You don't need to stab it. You don't need to go too high. I've seen too many times tonight from both teams missing that small 15, 20 metre short pass.
Carlton by 13 points, and it's Lord who clears it out of defensive 50 for the Blues. Goes out to the wing, Curnow at the back, May at the front. And it's just pushed down towards Windsor, who has the footy, slips over, hand passes it towards Rivers, who's happy to take it over the boundary line for a throw-in on the outer side of the ground. It's a ball in. It's centre wing. Carlton ahead by 13 points, 5-2-32 the Blues playing Melbourne, 3-1-19. Just the one goal in this quarter the way of the Blues. It's 17 minutes played in the second term Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Ed Langdon up to 10 disposals so far in this second quarter. Pitnet wins down the tap to the front. A chance for Chera. He's shoved by Sharp as he got his kick away. Was he over the boundary line? No, out of bounds on the full. Free kick going the way of the Demons on the Shane stand side. Langdon wastes no time, plays on, gains an extra 5 or 6 metres. Long inside 50, Gawn's the target over his head. Van Rooyen went up with one arm, can't take the mark. Free kick going the way of O'Farrell, who was taken over the shoulder. Take the free kick in the right back pocket.
A little bit of kick to kick here, haven't we? It's just, there's another 50 paid against the man on the mark, I think, or Cozzy saying something.
Harry O'Farrell in just his 4th game of AFL footy will now be taken from the back pocket all the way into the middle of the MCG. Searching for just Carlton's 2nd goal since quarter time.
May is giving Curnow a lot of room.
And he spotted up Curnow. He kicked it into May. It ricochets back to him. He dribbles the ball up towards Fogarty, trying to get it back to Curnow. He gathers through in between his legs. It was athletic, but then he lost possession and lays a big tackle on Jack Viney. It's a game that's not reaching the great heights in this second quarter we hope for.
No, as I mentioned, the first quarter was quite good. 7 goals kicked, but yeah.
So tapped away by Gawn towards Doherty, who can keep it in for the Blues. Hand pass to O'Farrell, who just kicks a long ball right to the top of the 50. At the back was Rivers, though, for the Ds. Hand passes to Bowie, flicks it across to Windsor, who's got Rivers still running and tries to find him. He's very close to the boundary line. In the end, it falls at the back to Williams, who's taken in a tackle. And it'll be a ball up very close to the boundary line on the outer side of the ground. So Moya kicks the first goal and the only goal of this term at the 3-minute mark of it. It's the only goal we've had so far as a high free kick is towards Carlton in the ruck. Advantage paid. Hewitt puts it into the right forward pocket. It'll bobble at the back, tapped away. And it'll be a throw-in inside forward 50 for the Blues.
It's fair to say, Boomer, this quarter hasn't reached any real great heights.
Well, like I said, it's just sort of been kick to kick. We've had 11 each inside 50s now, and it's just gone from one end to the other, maybe a couple of repeat 50s, but yeah, there's not too much flow on the ball. Nothing.
Scrappy.
Yep, a couple of switches here that looks like they're out, but then they miss a target.
Carlton by 13 points. Gawn wins down the tap. Motlop onto it.
Here we go.
One way, then the other. Cuts back on his right. And he misses to the right-hand side. It's the Blues 1 goal, 1 in this second quarter to Melbourne 1 behind. Carlton hold a 14-point advantage here. 20 minutes gone. Second quarter. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Stephen May to bring it in for the Ds. Goes out wide. It falls down towards Cowan, who's taken in a high tackle.
Just go.
Against Langford, and then Cowan hand passes it away to Hollands, who puts it inside 50 for the Blues. Gone at the back of the pack, tried to hold on to the footy, lost it at the last second it came to ground.
So when you hold the ball up at 70 metres, all it allows is opposition to get back, clog up the space. Just throw caution to the wind, just go. Just kick it to the fat side, keep it simple.
Comes out the back. Lord has it for the Blues. Hand passes it away towards Young, who puts the kick towards the goal face, but it's offline across to the left-hand side.
But Rama, that kick, so you mentioned 70 metres, and that's exactly where he was. Where did the ball land? Where did we get the next stoppage? 40 out. So the kick went 30 metres to about 12 players. Yeah. Clear it. Go to the fat side. Go to the skinny side. Try something different. Drop the eyes.
Grant Harvey and Adam Romanascus, your experts. Stephen May into Salem. It's a Clayton Oliver at centre half back who takes the mark. Kicks into the middle of the ground. Petrarca marks. Pick it in the air. Can't take the mark. Wiedering makes the spoil. Foot races on in the left forward pocket. Holland's got there first. He was taken high. I thought Van Vrooyen was being penalised. He wasn't. It's a throw-in in the left forward pocket.
No, that was okay, that one, Klitschy.
That was all right. So high fives for the Blues defenders. Ollie Holland's getting back there. Keziah Pickett with 2 goals in the opening quarter.
That is a concern, though, how quickly Melbourne can take the ball from one end of the ground to the other. That was, 3 kicks and it was inside forward 50.
Gawn tries to take another ruck from the throw-in against Pitnet, loses the footage. Here for the Blues in the back pocket. Hand pass away to Zach Williams, kicks up the wing. Christian Salem, good strong mark, as he does on so many occasions for Melbourne, repelling another effort forward for the Blues.
So this is not a smart aleck question, Rama, but why aren't we seeing that more then? Because you're right, that play was sensational. The ball was up there within 4-5 seconds.
Christian Salem inside forward 50 to Gawn, who marks.
Yeah, you scratch your head to try and find the answer, Boom.
So here is an opportunity for the D's inside forward 50, although Collins got it on a very tight angle.
And I say this about all teams, whether you're the top of the ladder or the bottom of the ladder. Most teams train the same. They train the same ball movement alike.
Yep.
It's more an attitude thing out in the ground if you're prepared to take the risk on.
We see so many risks get taken in the last quarter when the game's up for grabs, and the ball movement looks good, and they normally kick 4, 5, 6 goals.
Max Gawn from 50 metres out. The kick looks good towards goal. It's just off. And it's just a behind for the D's. So they move to 3-2-20. Carlton 5-4-34. The Blues lead 14 points, 22 minutes played in the second.
That is one area of his game he struggled this season, Max Gawn. 4 goals, 14. Sard brings the Blues back into play. To Hollands in the back pocket, kicks up towards Tom de Koning, who got front position against Tom McDonald and takes the mark at left half back. Carlton 5-4-34 to Melbourne 3-2-20. De Koning moves it laterally out to Haynes, who marks centre wing. Member side of the MCG, over the head of Patrick Cripps. Mark is taken by Jake Bowie for the Demons. Looks to chip it to Sharp. Cleared Hollands. He runs away from him now. Hand pass over the top to Fritsch. Has 2 Melbourne players in the pocket. He cuts on his left. He gets it to them now. Jefferson drops the chest mark. He regathers. Hand pass away to Sharp. Hand pass over his shoulder. Petrarca. They've almost messed it up. He kicks to Van Rooyen, who's called to play on. He turns and gets the hand pass away. Windsor in the left forward pocket. He misses.
Wow. Put the Benny Hill music on.
If you thought that was hard to call, you should imagine what it was like to watch. Melbourne made mistake after mistake after mistake.
Put the Benny Hill music on, because that 30 seconds of play there deserves it.
I don't want to bring up last Saturday night, but we sat here and watched Richmond and Lynchy, and this has got all the signs of it. So Sard pulls the kick out from defence and it goes straight to Clayton Oliver in the pack, who marks in his 200th game. Former Echuca and Murray Bushrangers product, playing 200 for the D's. Puts it inside 50 towards a pack. No mark taken. Petrarca holds onto it, just tries to kick it towards goal. Wiedering lying on the ground, gets towards Sard, who hand passes it out of bounds. And it's a throw-in.
Carlton player, not too far away.
Farrell was right there. Benefited it out there to Adam Sard.
Yeah, I actually don't mind that call.
His head's on a swivel. Adam Sard, he's relieved there was no penalty coming there as it's thrown in. Deep in attack for the Demons. Gawn flicks it over the back. Williams read it best though. High ball for the Blues in the middle of the ground. De Koning tries to reach over Tom McDonald. And a free kick going Tom McDonald's way. So Melbourne will take it back once more. Comes into the middle of the ground for Chandler. Gawn's on the lead.
Again.
With one arm, he can't take the mark. Spoiled down to Carroll, who kicks into the middle of the ground for De Koning. He can't gather. Crashed into Salem. High contact. Blues take the advantage. Fogarty breaks through the middle of the ground. Kicks for Moyer, who marks directly in front, 45 metres out. It feels like a accurate kick and a successful mark deserves to be applauded at the moment.
Well, I wanted Fogarty to take a bounce there almost.
I was doing it.
Yeah, he had the grass in front of him, Boom. So, but Moyer, good enough to come back to the ball. He had Stephen Mays, his direct opponent, inside forward 50. May just was running back to goal. He gave Moyer no respect there inside forward 50. Moyer comes back, easy little lead, gets the mark.
Get Lex to keep an eye on Tom de Koning as Ashton Moyer shooting for his third goal of the night from directly in front, 45 metres out. Gives everyone a chance to celebrate here at the MCG, especially Carlton fans. That's the last 3 goals of the match, 2 in this second quarter, and it's a 19-point lead the Blues way after leading by 8 points at quarter time. 6-4-40 to Melbourne 3-3-21. A game which hasn't really reached the great heights. Ashton Moyer with 3 goals in just his 6th game is a good sign for Blues fans.
He certainly is, and Rama called it well before. These young guys, they just need to get a look at them, see if they're up to this standard of football, and he certainly is. I think he looks like a natural footballer. Beautiful
Give him
finish.
a month. Give him 6 weeks.
And tell him that at the start.
Yeah.
You're not coming in for 1 or 2, and if you play bad, you're out. Give him 4, 5, 6 weeks, and then see what these guys have got. But again, Rama, speed on ball. Carlton through the middle of the ground. I know there was a free kick, but it was a play on by Williams. There was speed on the ball. The defenders, they can't do nothing when they're running back towards goal. It's too hard to defend these days.
Who's now up by 19 points. Pitnet just palms it down. Hewitt overran it. Chera, hands and knees, tries to grab it. In the end, Saad just soccers it off the ground. Mark will be taken by McVie. In the D's defensive half of the ground, he hurries a kick inside 50, goes over the top of Sharp, and it's Cowan who sits back and takes the intercept mark for the Blues. Be happy to hold on to this 19-point lead as we edge towards half-time, and he just shares it across with O'Farrell, still inside defensive 50 for the Blues. And O'Farrell will go for a jog outside of 50 as the siren sounds for half-time. It was a second quarter that didn't reach any great heights, but both goals went to the Blues, and both of them went to Ashton Moyer as well in just his 6th game. It means Carlton's lead extended from 8 points at quarter time to 19 points at half time. The Blues 6-4-40, Melbourne 3-3-21. The goal kickers so far tonight, it is 3 to Ashton Moyer leading the way, 2 to Charlie Curnow, which both came in the first term, and a single to Adam Chera. While for the D's, Cozzy Pickett has 2 goals and Jake Melksham with a single heading into half time.
Bit going on between Mark Pitnet and Max Gawn. Max saw the lighter side of it and just shoved a couple of Carlton players out of the way. Clayton Oliver was involved, and Max is still right in the middle of this Carlton huddle. So as they're all heading in separate directions, Clayton Oliver is wrestling with Motlop, Chera and Hewitt, and it just continues to sort of just spot fire away here. Stephen Mays involved. You don't want him in the middle of it, and there's not much the umpires can do in this scenario. So Hitman and Gawn are now on the periphery, and it's just Clayton Oliver has to be separated by a couple of his teammates. See, Langdon's at the back.
It's probably the best time to have a little bit of a blue too, because there's no free kicks, Rama. You can get in there and get a bit scrappy.
Yeah.
Like you Essendon boys used to do to us Kangaroo boys a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Try to bully us.
Or, of course, the AFL who are rubbing their hands together, and that money from fines goes to what cause? Anyway, it goes somewhere at AFL House. Half-time here at the MCG. The Blues, who led by 8 points at quarter time, now lead by 9 points. They booted the only 2 goals in that second quarter. The thoughts of Adam Ramanaskas and Brett Harvey with you on ABC Sport.
Well, I think that top text message sums it all up if you want to read that one.
0437 774 774. Are we listening to AFL Senior Footy or the thirds in the Murray League? Cheers. The River Watchers in the shed of knowledge in Echuca.
Well, that quarter was a bit like that. It was scrappy, it was mistakes, it was ball on the ground, it was free kicks. It had no flow whatsoever. The only bit of flow was right at the end of that quarter with Ashton Moyer's goal, where Carlton were able to force the ball through the middle of the ground. A free kick to De Koning, they play on. Fogarty gets it going into the front half of the ground. He's able to hit Moyer up, but other than that, it was, kick to contest, kick to when you're going inside 50, kick to a forward pocket, then there'd be a restart. So clearance that quarter for Carlton was 13-3 in their favour, that's a real smacking. Now, Carlton, we know, are pretty good at clearance, but 13-3, I think Simon Goodwin will be really disappointed.
It's huge, isn't it?
With that result, considering that's a part of their game that they like to own as well. So, we've spoken a lot about ball movement. And why we speak about it so often is it's because what the good teams are doing and how they're winning games at the moment. You look last night at the Brisbane and Western Bulldogs game. Like when Brisbane got their ball movement going, and I know we're talking about different levels of players and the like, but it's also trained. They're also trained habits that these players need to learn. Now, whether Carlton or Melbourne are training these habits to move the ball as quickly as they can and through the right areas of the ground, well, I don't know. But clearly they can do it. Clearly they're capable of doing it. We mentioned Fogarty there, but then there was a moment probably about 2 minutes before that where Melbourne took the ball from deep in Carlton's defence to in their forward line to a leading target in Cozzy Pickett, who unfortunately couldn't take the mark within 3 kicks.
Yep.
So they're more than capable of doing it. It's just then it's the application to want to do it more often.
So I can nearly guarantee you now, right, and it might not happen at the start of the third quarter, but midway through the third quarter, if Carlton kick 1 or 2 more goals, the message will be come out and put flow on the ball, and you watch Melbourne's ball movement just change completely. And this is what I said before the game about Carlton. Usually, unfortunately for Carlton, the scoreboard's usually the other way, and they're down by 20, 30, 40, and then they have to throw caution to the wind, and their ball movement becomes good. They kick 4, 5, 6 goals and give everyone in the crowd, oh, that's what we're capable of. But we don't see it at the start of the game. It's like a boxer. You go into the ring, they're both waiting to see who throws that first punch. You know what? Don't wait. Just get on the front foot and throw the punches.
And it sort of gets to an NBA game where you watch an NBA game now, and I watch a lot of basketball. They want to take it right down to the last quarter, the last 7 or 8 minutes of the game. We just need to be there. But sometimes if you've played like that for the entire game, it's very hard to flick a switch and go, okay, all of a sudden now we're going to play this, brand of football that's exciting, free flowing. So I'm with Boot. Do your work early. Do your work early, get your ball movement going, attack the centre corridor, attack handball receives, get the flow of the game going in your favour. That half of football, probably Carlton had a little bit more flow. But like I said, Melbourne had their moments when they were able to move the ball quickly themselves. So what do we got? A 19-point game doesn't feel like a 19-point game.
Rama, a question for you. Do you think it's harder to score or shut a game down?
I think for these two teams, score.
So if you can get off to a good lead and you want to shut you know what? You can have an arm wrestle and say, right, we're not going to score, but either are you. But you're 4 goals up, so it doesn't matter. That's sort of what it feels like should be happening, but just waiting to throw the punches. The other one that we'll keep an eye on, and I'll certainly keep an eye on this through the third and fourth quarter, is May versus Curnow. Curnow had a great quarter, that one. He had 8 touches, but May's playing back shoulder, which he normally does, but he's playing it by 4 or 5 metres and relies on his closing speed, but he ain't getting Charlie Curnow. Charlie Curnow hit up the ball then a lot.
Well, Charlie Curnow is Carlton's leading possession winner in that half. He's had 13 possessions and 13 kicks. So he's had 13 kicks and 2 goals. So he has worked up the ground a little bit more, Charlie, which is perfect for the matchup with May. 7 marks he's also taken, Charlie May. So clearly trying to move Stephen May out of Carlton's forward 50. And up the other end's the same. Jake Melksham's trying to do the same thing with Jacob Wiedering. Wiedering had 3 intercept marks in that first quarter. For the half, he took 1 in that quarter. So 4 intercept marks he's had now for the game. So I thought Melksham did a reasonable job that quarter. But the problem is you need Jake Melksham inside your forward 50 as well, because he's the one kicking goals at the moment. Van Rooyen's not kicking goals. Cozzy's, he was good early in that game in the first quarter, but then after that, who's kicking your goals for Melbourne?
Adam Ramanaskas and Brent Harvey with their assessment to halftime. I think the scoring efficiency inside 50 is Carlton 19%, Melbourne 11.
So it's low.
If it's a basketball game, it's certainly a defensive basketball game at the moment. It's the Blues who lead by 19 points. On the other side of the ABC News, we'll bring you all the latest results from the day's footy. But for the moment, let's check in with the ABC Newsroom.
ABC News. Good evening. I'm William Howard. Counting is underway in Tasmania's snap state election, with the ABC calling 11 seats for the Liberals, 5 for Labor, 3 Greens and 1 independent so far. Josh Duggan has more.
The ABC's chief elections analyst Casey Briggs has called Tasmanian Premier Jeremy Rockliff as the first member returned to the state's 35-seat lower house. Early counting shows a slight swing to the Liberals and away from Labor. Former federal Liberal MPs Bridget Archer and Gavin Pearce have also been elected to Bass and Braddon respectively. In Lyons, Deputy Premier Guy Barnett has claimed his seat again. Independent Christy Johnston looks to have been re-elected in Clark. Anti-salmon farming independent Peter George is polling strongly in the southern seat of Franklin.
Former Labor leader, now independent David O'Byrne, supported a Liberal government last year. He says he's now open to working with both parties.
Let's see where the numbers lay, and I will talk to whoever picks up the phone to me that wants to work with me, and that's always been my commitment. Last year I didn't have the luxury of a choice of two, I had a luxury of one.
A record spike in early voting for Tasmania's snap state election has been attributed to its timing. A total of 132,000 Tasmanians voted early this year, either at pre-polling centres or via phone. That's approximately 32% of enrolled voters and about a 20% increase on last year's election. The state's electoral commissioner, Andrew Hawkey, says more and more Australians are heading to the polls early, but believes this election's numbers have been influenced by school holidays.
It is a growing trend in Australia for people to early vote, but I think the school holidays really made an impact. So we ended up with about 20,000 more pre-poll votes this year than last year, but we can see most of that occurred in that first week before the school holidays. So I think people were doing the right thing, making sure they voted before they were heading off overseas or interstate.
The Israeli military says dozens of Israeli citizens have crossed the border in the Israel-occupied Golan Heights into Syria and entered a Druze village. It says the Israeli citizens used violence against Israeli forces trying to disperse a gathering in the area. It comes after days of deadly sectarian clashes between Druze and Bedouin fighters in southern Syria. The Wall Street Journal says it will vigorously defend the defamation lawsuit brought against it by US President Donald Trump. Larry Buttrose reports.
Mr. Trump filed what he called a powerhouse lawsuit for more than $15 billion over publications of claims he wrote a bawdy birthday note to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein in 2003. A spokesperson for the Wall Street Journal says it has full confidence in the accuracy and rigour of the reporting. The court action pits Mr. Trump against media magnate Rupert Murdoch, whose Fox News network has backed him over the past decade. It comes as the Justice Department asks a judge to unseal documents related to the Epstein case, following intense criticism of the Trump administration's handling of it.
Microsoft says it will stop using China-based engineers to provide technical assistance to the US military. It comes after a report in investigative journalism outlet ProPublica sparked questions from a US senator and prompted Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to order a 2-week review of Pentagon cloud deals. The report details Microsoft's use of Chinese engineers to work on US military cloud computing systems under the supervision of US digital escorts. Microsoft, which is a major contractor of the US government, has had its systems breached by Chinese and Russian hackers. To sport now, and in the AFL, Sydney midfielder Isaac Heaney has booted 5 goals and recorded 13 clearances in a dominant display against North Melbourne. The Swans defeated the Kangaroos by 31 points at the SCG for their 3rd straight win. But Heaney told Fox Sports there's still a lot of room for improvement.
I think we're still pretty patchy, to be honest. It's good that we're getting over the line. I think this is what we weren't doing at the start of the season. We're sort of losing games by a couple of goals. We're sort of winning by a couple of goals. So definitely has changed, but I think we're still a little way off.
Earlier, Hawthorn defeated Port Adelaide by 38 points. And the Bulldogs have lost their first match in the NRLW to St George Illawarra in Sydney. After winning their opening 2 matches, the new team went down to local rivals the Dragons, 18 points to 14 in a tight contest. And you're up to date with the very latest ABC News.
Everyone's an expert at something. It's what makes us all special. If only that were true.
Join Tom Gleeson for brand new Hard Quiz.
No expert subject turned away.
Back Wednesday, July 23 on ABC TV and ABC iView.
This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
As Carroll blazes away inside 50 and finds Moyer, who slides in front of Rivers to take the mark. Moyer comes in, looking to continue the charge for the Blues. It's a beautiful kick, and they strike first in the second quarter. And Melbourne will take it back once more. Comes into the middle of the ground for Chandler. Gawn's on the lead.
Again.
With one arm, he can't take the mark. Spoiled down to Carroll, who kicks into the middle of the ground for De Koning. He can't gather. Crashed into Salem. High contact. Blues take the advantage. Fogarty breaks through the middle of the ground. Kicks from Moyer. As Ashton Moyer shooting for his third goal of the night from directly in front. 45 metres out. Gives everyone a chance to celebrate here at the MCG, especially Carlton fans.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. It's the Blues who lead by 19 points. As you heard, the 2 goals there, they were the only goals scored by Carlton. They both came from Ashton Moyer. He has 3 goals for the match so far. Charlie Curnow with 2, while Keziah Pickett has 2 for the Demons. Matt Clinch and Lauren Borton calling the action. Lex Pesher down on the boundary. Adam Ramanauskas and Brent Harvey are your experts. Earlier today, it was the Sydney Swans who recorded their 3rd win on the trot. 31-point winners over North Melbourne. Isaac Heaney led the way with 34 disposals, 13 clearances and a lazy 5 goals. While in Tasmania, it was another win for the Hawks down there. 38-point winners over Port Adelaide. 5-1 in the final term, in which Jack Gunston booted 3 goals. Jarman Impey with 3 goals as well. And Jack Ginnivan got the last word on Ken Hinkley. What do you think of Rama Boomer? Little aeroplane celebration for Ken Hinkley at the end of the match, who took it in the right spirit.
I wouldn't expect anything less. I think that's just the era of football, the era of sport we're in at the moment, where there's theatre attached to it, and whether you react or you don't react, that's completely up to you. And I think Ken had a little smile on his face when Jack did that. So it's all in good fun. No one gets hurt. We just move on.
It's probably the only way he can really respond. I think Ken said payback is I was going to say something else, but well deserved. It was almost the only way he could see light of it, given the fact that the two had tangled, and Ken obviously copped the fine from the AFL at the end of the finals last year. In the match taking place in the West tonight, it's been relatively even between the West Coast Eagles and the Tigers. It's the Tigers in the second quarter, 4-3-27, leading the Eagles 2-4-16. There is an ABC call available if you're looking for it. Just download the ABC Listen app and click on the AFL Extra button if you want to tune in to the team there in Perth. On the SMS, 0437 774 774. Are you guys doing the cricket tomorrow? Go the Blues. That's Murray and Geelong. No coverage of the white ball cricket, unfortunately, just the test matches, but we will be bringing you coverage of the Wallabies, which I might bring you a couple of grabs before the night is out. Michael says Benny Hill is more entertaining when they all chase him at the end. Hopefully a better half for the D's. So thanks, Michael, for your contribution. And let me get my mouse to work here. There's a couple others that have come through.
There's one, I think, from
Marcus in South Melbourne. If Carlton wants speed through the middle and a few goals, guys, why did they get rid of Matt Owies to the Eagles?
Yeah, well, that's true. I think that a lot of people have questioned that decision. So it's clearly a gap in Carlton's team at the moment, where that small forward play inside their forward 50 has probably been non-existent.
Hi guys, Cohen from Ferny Creek here, liking Moyer on the extension of his contract, and good to see Curnow finally kicking some goals. Come on the Blues. Well, I guess that's going to be the question, isn't it? Is Harry Mackay out of the lineup at the moment? Both he, Charlie Curnow, Patrick Cripps.
Well, they've got Cottrell, Fantasia, Kemp, McGovern, Mackay, Newman, Silvani, Walsh, Lewis Young.
Yeah, it's a big list.
It's a big list.
It's a big list.
So we can't not acknowledge that what Carlton are simply missing from their team at the moment.
Well, you only mentioned 3 players before the
Sparrow, Petty, and Lever for Melbourne.
Right. So where does that leave Melbourne? I mean, Carlton are leading by 19 points at half time. What does that say for Melbourne?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, if you haven't got a big injury list, then clearly you've got to make some changes with personnel that aren't quite getting the job done. And I think Melbourne are slowly doing that. Xavier Lindsay, who's the sub tonight, Langford, Windsor, Tholstrop. So there is some younger players into the team. Jefferson's the other one. So you've got to continue to transition. So the guys that are no longer getting the job done, clearly Boomer, they have to move aside and you move these younger players in. But also you have to probably transition how you play the game as well in that sense. And I think I think Melbourne started to do that, particularly earlier in the season. I think it was a Fremantle game here earlier in the season where we saw a big change where, you know, they were playing a lot more of a chaotic brand instead of the real controlled brand that we became used to. So that will have to continue to transform over the summer.
But they need a big forward, don't they? I mean, Jefferson's, even if he develops into a really good player, he's not a big forward. You're not going to win a flag with Meltram. As good as Meltram's been, you're not going to win a flag with him sitting at full forward and Bailey Fritsch as your two main goal kickers for the year. I know Cozzy Pickett's leading the goal kicking, but he's a small forward / on baller. They've got to get a big forward. And you know what? Even right now is a time for Tom McDonald to go forward, just to give him something to kick to, because Wiedering, as you mentioned, he's got those uncontested marks or intercept marks. Is it time to throw the magnets around a little bit and saying, righto, we need to have someone to kick to, because Van Rooyen hasn't come on like Melbourne would have expected, I'm sure. I was out here a couple of years ago calling a game, I think it was Melbourne-Richmond, and I reckon he might have kicked 5. And he looked like, oh, here he comes. He's going to be a star, this kid, but he hasn't developed into what they would have expected.
And I'm just thinking in this year's draft, it's more of a midfielders draft.
Yes, have heard that.
So there's not too many big key forwards that are going to really transition your football club into a premiership contender really, really quickly. So it may be they have to go and trade. Boomer.
Have they had any word on players that they're chasing from other clubs? Is there any rumours floating around Melbourne at the minute? No, not quite.
No. It sort of feels like they're in the same camp as Carlton and Port Adelaide at the bit in the moment. There's a bit of uncertainty as to whether they feel like they have to sort of go backwards a step to rebuild to try and fire back up the ladder.
I think it's hard to go backwards when you signed Cozzy for a long time. You still got Petrarca signed for a long time.
Oliver's still on a long deal.
Oliver's still on a long-term deal. Van Rooyen's now on a longer-term deal. So there's a number of players on longer-term deals that would be expecting a level of success, and that's why they've signed those longer-term contracts. So tricky.
Now it's half-time in the match between Australia and the British and Irish Lions. It's the visitors who lead 17-5, so there is an ABC call available of that. It's on the ABC Sport Extra button with Quentin Hull and the team. Second half about to get underway. It's Carlton who lead by 19 points. Here's Lauren Borton on ABC Sport.
Back in the middle, it's Williams who gets the footy and pushes away from Petrarca as well to put the footy to centre half forward for the Blues. It's an intercept mark though by Rivers of the D's. It's an early touch for Rivers in the third, and he chips it towards Petrarca in the centre of the field. 8 goals in the past 3 matches between these two sides. It was Carlton that's won all those by low figures, but Petrarca's been prolific in all of them as he kicks it to Gawn, to Pickett, who tried to move it towards Chandler at left half forward. Cowan comes in there and has the footy, and he's taken by Oliver and pulled to the turf for a ball up right at the top of the 50. He's kicking towards the punt road end of the MCG in the third term. Has gone, taps it away. Langford hand passes it away to Pickett. He puts it on his boot and curls the ball back inside 50. Van Rooyen gets some separation and holds onto the mark for the D's.
That's better. Yeah, that's better. That's what you want to see from a key forward. Bully someone and take the mark. But now you've got to go back 35 out. I know there's a slight angle here and we've got a great view, but you've got to go back and slot this if you want to be a good forward, a good tall forward.
So he lines up the goals, Jacob Van Rooyen. He's kicked 5 goals across the past 3 weeks for the Demons. Really wanting to make an impact in the last few matches of this season. Kicks towards goals, and it's straight and true, and he likes it.
Lovely kick.
He celebrates with Windsor, and then he goes high-fiving anyone that comes near him in the forward 50. And the D's have the first one in a minute in the third term. The margin cut back to 13 points, 4-3-27 Melbourne, Carlton 6-4-40. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
And that's where you want Van Rooyen. Just simplify your game.
Yep.
Let's play in front. Let's get to as many marking contests as we possibly can. Let's hit up at the ball as many times as we possibly can. Like all the tricks and the other, that'll come once you establish your game.
The matchup is fantastic for him.
Young player.
Young Harry O'Farrell.
Yep.
He would be, I'm saying 6 or 7 kilos lighter.
Yep, easily.
Not very well developed at the minute, the young fella, but and Van Rooyen's a big man, so he's got a match up there. You know what? Put him in the P. Melbourne, move out of his way, let him go to work.
Brent Harvey and Adam Romanascus, your experts. Melbourne's first goal since the 17-minute mark of the opening term. Pitnet wins down the tap. Got it away to Paddy Cripps. Gets the hand pass to Williams. Kicks off the outside of the boot up towards Motlop at half forward. Can't take the mark. May comes crashing through. Tackled by Motlop. Melbourne keep it alive. Petrarca's hand pass to Rivers. Hand pass to Max Gorn. Back to centre half back where Judd McVie looks out to Windsor, who marks at left half back for the Demons. Carlton's lead 13 points. Windsor up towards Chandler. Couldn't get a flight at it. It was 2-on-1 and Carroll provided good support. And Cowan takes the mark for the Blues. Inboard to Zach Williams. Back to Cowan. Carlton trying to find an avenue up the members' wing. Kicks looking for Moyer with one arm. Taps it away from Turner, although Turner provided good support for McVie. Hand pass to Gorn. Hand pass to Clayton Oliver. Down low back for McVie. Oliver was crashed into after he got the footy away.
No, it's not a free kick. He handballed the ball and got front on contact, but it was a handball. It was body contact. This is...
Yeah, you're allowed to do that.
It's a brutal game, but that wasn't even brutal.
So Clayton Oliver does get the free kick and he just chips it towards Salem at centre half back, who moves it forward by foot to Pickett, who's on the AFL logo, centre wing, members side ground of the MCG. Takes a few steps and just dinkies the kick across to Petrarca, who marks. There's a couple of kicks from goal. Again, it's a skying ball inside 50. Plenty of time for players to get around it. There'll be no mark taken there by Langford. It falls to ground and it'll be a clearing kick out from Young, who puts it into some space, outer wing along the southern side of the MCG. May's there to pick it up and just chip it backwards towards McDonald. We'll move it forward with a 15-metre kick towards Salem. So he's holding on to the footy at centre wing and he chips it towards Langford, who's got the ball and he has Salem running past him. Hand pass to Salem. He'll put the kick inside 50 now, right to the top of the 50. No mark can be taken by Melksham. Spills out to Windsor, who just chips it to centre half forward. Good kick in the end. And Salem marks it right there, 50 metres out from home.
Ozzy Pickett was trying to skirt around the back to get the hand pass, and now Salem might have to have the shot on goal. Directly in front, 50 out from home.
This is another one of those distance ones, isn't it? What's he going to do here, Rema? Does he go to top of the goal square or does he have a shot himself?
I don't think he's got the leg.
27 goals across his 194 games. He's going to poke it to Fritsch down low. He takes the mark.
He's probably gained
8 metres?
6 metres, 7 metres, really?
Bailey Fritsch is further out to the right and maybe 45 metres out from goal as opposed to 52.
But a longer kick. Bailey Fritsch with a longer kick, I would think.
He hasn't had his kicking boots on this year, Bailey Fritsch.
He certainly hasn't. 22 goals, 21 for the season.
There's a few out in the fulls in there as well.
Yeah, I was about to say, a couple not on the scoreboard either. Fritsch starts his approach from right on 50
to go.
In the long sleeves, he sends it through, and the Demons have put through 2 together in this third quarter through 5.5 minutes. Carlton's lead is cut into once more. It's a 7-point ball game. The Blues 6-4-40 to Melbourne 5-3-33. Bailey Fritsch with his first goal of the match. ABC Sport coming to you on a Saturday night from the MCG with Adam Romanascus and Brent Harvey.
Realistically, Boomer, well, Adam Sard is his direct opponent there. Okay, but Sard is standing off Bailey Fritsch a couple of metres. Recognise who the kicker is in Christian Salem. Salem clearly wasn't going to go the distance. He was looking for a pass. Sard, stand in front of your direct opponent.
They can't lead. There's no leading.
There's no leading. You can't lead it. Like you're taught that as a defender when you're a kid.
Yep.
So, just like these little fundamental errors that these teams towards the bottom of the ladder make.
Just lapses there.
Going down to Cripps, then Gawn comes in the middle. Cripps has a go at it as well. It'll be a push in the end and a free kick to Gawn when he had the footy. So the D's looking to go ahead forward and kick 3 in a row to start the third term as Gawn has to go back and retrieve his own footy. And he'll come back. He's just outside the bullseye in the centre of the MCG. Bit of relayed turf down there showing 2 separate colours of green in the middle of the G, and Gawn launches the footy inside forward 50. At the back of the pack go Farrell, got it touched towards it, and then it's socked away in the end by Young. It makes its way over the boundary line and out on the full as well. And it's dangerous because Cozzy Pickett will get the free kick for Melbourne. Lex Pesce on the boundary.
Xavier Lindsay, the Melbourne sub, has just taken his warm-up shirt off. He's at the front of the bench. I'm not sure if they're going to make their sub or who it's for, but I'll just keep an eye on that one.
Thanks, Lex. We'll keep an eye on that. Xavier Lindsay
This
comes
is
on.
going to be a decent snap here from Cozzy Pickett.
So Cozzy Pickett, 40 metres out, snaps towards goal for the D's. That is perfect. What a beautiful finish from a stellar player. He's got 3 tonight, and there's 10 more years of this to come for D's fans. Carlton's lead now has been cut back to 1 point early in this third term. It's Melbourne 6-3-39. Carlton with that slender lead 6-4-40. Before the thoughts of Adam Ramanauskas and Boomer Harvey, let's head down to Lex Pesher on the boundary.
So Xavier Lindsay is coming to the game right now, and it's Carlton Tolstrup who'll come off in his place.
All right, thanks, Lex. There's also a question from Beansy coming through. Hey, Lex, how many times have Carlton lost after leading at half-time?
I don't know the answer to that one.
They're 0-6 when trailing at quarter time, aren't they, Lex?
Half-time.
Half-time.
But they led at half-time on this occasion by 19 points, and all of a sudden that lead has evaporated.
Yeah, well, that was brilliant by Cozzy Pickett there.
What a finish.
45 metres out on the boundary in the left forward pocket.
They're the hardest ones around because you're so far out. The ball's got to bend a long way, but he made that look pretty easy.
I'm imagining if Beansy's a Blues fan, he's thinking, I've seen this before. To Koning, one down the tap. Oliver pushed off Chera, kicks inside 50. Free kick going Carlton's way. And Cowan will take it in the marking contest. Against Lindsay, the sub, who's into the action. So he swings it out to the right back pocket where O'Farrell takes the mark. Carlton by a point. Matt Clinch and Lauren Borden calling the action. Lex Pesce down the boundary. Adam Ramanauskas and Brent Harvey, your experts. Hewitt was also nudged out of a marking contest and will get the free kick against Cozzy Pickett. Sends it up the wing. Tom de Koning did have some arm concerns, shoulder or wrist, just before half-time, but has been okay to start this third quarter. Sends a high ball inside 50. Kerno can't get a fly at it. It's a 2-on-1 as he wrestled with Stephen May, and Daniel Turner takes the mark for the Demons.
Carlton did lead by 38 points in the same fixture last year, and then they only ended up winning by 1 as Melbourne went on a run in that game. So they got a little bit of form in this respect, and now it is the Blues just leading by 1 point as the kick comes down towards Doherty, who takes it, stolen by Chandler, shares it with Petrarca, who hand passes it back out to Langford, who's out muscled by Doherty, pretty close to the boundary line. It's all locked up, and the umpire will have to come in to break things up. So it'll be a ball up just to the right of the Carlton bench. Gorn makes his way into the contest beside de Koning, taps it down, Viney gets it, and he's wrapped up. And Doherty doing the tackling. It'll be another ball up. So Xavier Lindsay into the action for Carlton Tolstrup. The D's have activated their sub in the third term. Tap down towards Gorn, who tries to get a kick away. Ricochets into Viney. Hand passes it to Langford, who puts the kick right down the wing. Carroll comes in to take the mark. Cops a knock at the end in the contest as well. But a good mark taken there from Carroll.
Corey Durham, the sub for the Blues, yet to be activated. As Carroll chips it up the ground, and Adam Chera takes the mark for the Blues. Chera possession number 11 coming up. Cowan leads away with 13 for Carlton. Max Gawn with the intercepting mark.
He's starting to impose himself in this game now, Max Gawn.
He certainly is, and they just look a much different team and a much better team. The ball movement's a little bit quicker. They're still going sideways, but it's in a quicker fashion. So Carlton are going to be on their toes.
Yeah, trying to shift Carlton's defence. So Carlton are very much playing the defensive grid.
Mark number 5 for Max Gawn as the kick from Rivers at half-back. Sport away from Lindsay. Salem across half-back for the D's. Hand pass back to Rivers. Moyer offers the chase. Rivers looks up the Shane stand wing in the direction of Jefferson. Out number 3-on-1, and Cowan takes an impressive mark off balance for the Blues.
That was a fantastic mark, and his direct opponent was Cozzy Pickett, who was 35 metres because he left him.
Well, he's then intercepted though by Sharp of the D's. Chips forward to Petrarca, holds on to the mark.
He's got numbers forward.
There he is.
And you can see Pickett sitting there in the pocket. That's what Petrarca decides to do, and he hits Pickett on the chest.
I don't know why he was slowing it down, Petrarca.
I don't think he saw him.
Yeah, I don't think he's seen him. But we called before Cowan taking that intercept mark was fantastic, but he left Cozzy Pickett 35 metres on his own. Ball gets turned over from his direct disposal. Cozzy's having another shot on goal.
He snaps this with his left foot.
Right foot banana.
Check side.
Opposite side of the ground to where he just kicked one. Moment to go. He goes again to make it 2 from the toughest position on the ground. Cozzy's got it in his bag of tricks. He adds another one to his haul tonight. He's got 4 and 1 from pocket on either side of the ground as well. And Melbourne have taken back the lead. They trailed by 19 points at halftime. They are now in the lead by 5 points. 7-3-45. Carlton 6-4-40. Your expert, Boomer Harvey.
Sorry, Loz, you said that I'm putting work into Cozzy Pickett before the game, didn't you?
Yes, I think that was Lex on the boundary mentioned.
Oh, Lex said that, did she? It's, yeah, okay. It's, not sure they're putting a lot of work in. Again, I'm looking at Cozzy Pickett walking into the centre square, but he's kicking goals from the forward pocket 35 metres out on both sides. Who's on him? Is it Hewitt? Is Hewitt on him, Rammer, or does he just go forward after that and they don't hand over?
You keep your eyes on him for the next 5 minutes, Boom.
You watch the play, mate.
Yeah, I've got the play. I've got the play. You got Cozzy.
All right, done. Hewitt's gone right next to him now.
Lex Besher on the boundary.
I'll ask Michael Voss. Give me a second.
Look forward to that. Pitnet wins down the tap against Van Rooyen. The Blues need a response. Chera tries to get it back to the ruckman. Pitnet tries to get a hand pass forward, but Sharp of Melbourne tackled and dispossessed. His hand pass chopped off by Carroll of the Blues. Sends it up the wing. Chance of them to transition here as Will White takes the mark and runs the boundary line away from Salem. Gets to 55 out. Pokes it in the pocket for Evans.
He was lucky.
Evans takes the mark.
Another 2 steps, Clinchy. That might have been a travel, I think.
Maybe one step,
Melbourne fans who thought it was right on the border already.
And Cozzy Watch is manning the mark right now, so he worked back from the centre bounce to the defensive 50.
There's been a few Carlton fans who haven't been the biggest Francis Evans supporters. 1 goal, 4 so far this season. Picked up, of course, from Port Adelaide, having started his career at Geelong. There's a chance to try and win some fans here if he can kick truly and return the Blues to the lead. In the left forward pocket, shooting from 45 metres out. Evans comes in. That's a nice kick and a good way to grow your fan base. Carlton back in front here at the MCG. The Blues 7-4-46 to Melbourne 7-3-45. The D's had kicked the previous 4 goals in the match. And Carlton come up with a response. Adam Ramanaskas and Brent Harvey with you on ABC Sport.
Yeah, it was a nice routine by Evans, but you love that from White. Takes Salem on the mark, left footer, runs the boundary, wait, patient, lowers the eyes, finds that stationary target going inside forward 50. So we see so often Carlton players just want to bomb the ball.
It's a beautiful... It looked like with his winding action he was going to go long the whole time, and all the Melbourne defenders were all back shoulder again, and they all dropped off, so it was a fantastic kick. And that's the one I've been asking for all night, Rammer. Yes, lower your eyes, but execute the skill part of it as well. And that was I don't know why more players don't take the man on the mark on like that, because they can't move until the umpire calls play on. He's ran... Well, he actually ran about 17 metres, probably too far, but he ran 17 metres more than any other player would have.
Pitnet has in the middle it. Hand pass to Williams. Hand pass across to Cripps. They've got the break again. The Blues inside 50. They go off the boot of Cripps. It's punched away. And McVee will run onto it for the Demons. Hand pass to Bowie. Curling the footy around the boundary line. Finds the safety of Chandler, who marks it left half back. So I've had 5 straight goals to start the third term. We had 5 straight to start the first as well. An entertaining first term, a little more dour in the second when Carlton had the only 2 goals. And then 5 straight now to start the third as Viney chips it across to Oliver, who gets a few cheers in his 200th game. He just chips it towards Pickett, not 15, curls it around the boundary line in front of the benches. It'll be an intercept mark, though, taken by Cooper Lord of the Blues.
Comes inboard. Pickett couldn't take it, but Viney can for Melbourne. Hand pass forward to Van Rooyen. Gets the hand pass to Windsor. Hemmed in at left half forward. High kick inside 50. Melcham comes charging out. Crash the pat with Carroll in front. It's Fritsch who tries to keep it alive. He lost his footing. And Jacob Wiedering putting the pressure on and a free kick.
Wow.
Going Bailey Fritsch's way for
maybe.
Pushing the back that wasn't all that forceful, but the umpire spotted it.
His right hand was on the hip. The left hand was in the middle of the back, so...
Well, this will be interesting because he's going for a right foot snap. I haven't seen Bailey Fritsch kick too many on his right foot, Rammer.
No.
Any lefties kick on their right?
No. The Carlton fans in the Olympic stand didn't see it. Here's Fritsch's test on the right boot. He can't get 35 metres and it's punched through by Doherty. And Pitnet's support for a minor score. Scores are level. 46 apiece here at the MCG. 17 minutes gone, third term. On ABC Sport is Lauren Borden.
The right foot is only for balance, Boomer.
Okay. A little bit of Cozzy watch. George Hewitt went to the bench after starting on him in the centre bounce, so it's certainly not a tag.
Thanks, Boomer. Yes, the kick will come all the way out to the centre wing where Gawn just takes over the boundary line for a throw-in.
So I love when Cozzy goes for one of the Carlton younger players take him. Matt Carroll or somebody like that plays on him to have the experience of playing on a really good player.
Matt Carroll's having a crack at everything tonight, so he might be worth a shot there. This ball's tossed in, gone, and Pittonet in the ruck. It comes down in the end to White, who has the footy and has to hand pass it away. He's taken in a tackle, though, couldn't quite get it away, but it will be a ball up on centre wing.
I don't see the purpose of Adam Sard playing on Cozzy Pickett in the goal square.
Adam Ramanauskas with you on ABC Sport. Gorn slaps it down. Cripps tries to soccer it forward. Flynn Young tackled. Oliver just tried to throw a boot in there. And Young's still down. It ricochets out to Chandler. Hand pass from Melbourne to Rivers. Inside 50. Looking for Fritsch. Can't hang on to the mark. Haynes ran into a dead-ender. Sharp laid the tackle. White comes charging in. He's taken high by Bailey Fritsch. This match is just starting to go up a notch or two.
And you're right, Rama, because what's Sard's strength? It's his run-off offence, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he's certainly not going to run off Pickett, the informed man on the ground who's kicked 4 goals. So you're spot on. Hand him over to a younger player. Sard, get up and do your work offensively.
Well, White at left half back, kicks into the middle of the ground. Carroll can't take the mark. Zach Williams tried to spin out of a tackle. He's gone. Viney with support from Chandler lays the tackle for the Demons. And Melbourne take it back on the Shane Warne stand wing. Scores level, 7-4, 46 apiece. Both of these sides looking for their 7th win of the season as Jack Viney veers to the left. Drives it inside 50, Pickett the target. Jefferson came late, spoiled it away from Sard to Koenig. Hand pass out in front. It's knocked on by Young. Got it to the advantage of Fogarty at half-back. Kicks looking for Moyer, who's streaming towards half-forward. Hand pass over the top, missed Evans. Loose ball, chance one direction, made the other. Big collision as Evans has cleaned up and Moyer fires on goal. This might be coming back for a Carlton shot on goal. And Rama, talk us through this.
Wow. He's I was
going to say, did he get him high? But
yeah, he has.
He has blood streaming down from the middle of his nose.
Yeah, so he's got it. Stephen May's clearly got Francis Evans high. The ball was there. Oh, yeah.
Crowd reaction.
He's gone past
the indication.
I think he's gone past the ball, Francis Evans.
So he has a cut down the middle of his nose.
Yeah, just get the replay here.
Captain has come in.
In the top of the shoulder. He's in a bit of bony rubble, unfortunately.
Top of the right shoulder for Stephen May.
The ball's there.
With the nose of Francis Evans.
So Francis Evans just took the ball at the last moment.
You know, I know he's going to get suspended big for this, right? He's going to get suspended big. This is not a crazy malice act. I don't see it as that, Rama. The ball, he has got less than a split second to make a decision.
He hasn't shown a duty of care, though.
No, he has. I know he's going to get suspended. I understand that.
So the AFL wants Stephen May to stop in that situation.
Yep, I understand what everyone's going to say about it, but he went. There was 2 players running directly at the ball. The ball was in the middle of them. Very, very, very hard to stop.
The footy has ended up in the hands of Ashton Moyer, which is the right man for Carlton fans from 40 metres out. He comes in and capitalises. As Francis Evans makes his way from the field and is in the hands of trainers, the Blues take back the lead after Melbourne got clear by 5 points, kicking the first 4 goals of this third quarter, and maybe some added spice to this clash. Carlton 8-4-52, Melbourne 7-4-46, and no doubt the attention will turn to Stephen May.
So we're just getting the replay again. Yeah, it's just it's not even a split second.
No.
And Ashton Moyer has kicked 4 goals, I should say.
That's a great return, isn't it? His set shot looks pretty sound. He's got a routine, you can certainly say that. And 4 goals now, halfway through the third quarter. It's a great return.
They're going to have to take Francis Evans down to the room. There's blood everywhere, all over his jumper, face, nose. So they'll certainly check him for concussion as well.
Gorn takes it out of the ruck. He hand passes it away. It'll be stolen, though, by Lord, who then flares the kick out wide. It'll be an intercept mark by McVie of the D's. We can head down to Lex Pesce on the boundary for an update.
You are right. He's headed straight down into the rooms. All the doctors at the moment look like they're just seeing what they'll do with him. I imagine he'll go and have the HIA test, and they'll make a decision from there.
So the D's switch the kick around to the broadcast side of the ground to Sharp, who's holding it just at centre wing. next to the Blues bench. He loads up and puts plenty on the kick. Will get it almost to the top of the 50. Spills through the legs of De Koning across to Gawn, who can put the kick and centre it inside 50. Pickett will have to run onto this one. He's in a tough battle to get it. He's working his way to the front and working his magic. He gets a hand to it, but then Saar gets in front of him. Hand passes it across to Doherty, who clears the kick outside of defensive 50 for the Blues. Goes only as far as Moya. Might have come off his boot as well, so it'll be an out of bounds on the full and a free kick going the way of the D's. It's in the hands of Rivers.
So Trent Rivers at right half forward for the Demons, who now trail by 6 points. Sends it high and long inside 50. Gawn and Jefferson the target. Bounces off Gawn's chest to the goal square. Carroll trying to race it back. Langford kept it alive. Little toe poke towards the teeth of goal. And Carlton slap it through for a minor score. The Blues by 5 points. So Lex, with you, Francis Evans is headed downstairs, and Stephen May on the bench as well.
Yes, he's just come to the bench. I don't know what Simon Goodwin will say to him at the moment.
So he's just sitting on the bench at the moment after that collision.
Andrew?
As Carlton try and move the footy. Sorry, Lex will come back to you. Saab was just in a little bit of trouble there, was able to bounce it and then move the footy to the top of the 50 where Motlop can take it. Hand pass to Sard. He's kept running. He might be caught here. Windsor got to him. Just got a hand pass away to Cripps. He hand passes it out wide. And it'll be out to Carroll, who can pick it up in some space, outer wing, southern side of the MCG, just kicks it inboard. Mark couldn't be taken by Young. It allows it in for Melbourne as Petrarca has it. He's brought to ground in a crunching tackle by Young. It means the Blues have got the footy now as Motlop hand passes it to Hollands, who just hand passes it inside 50 towards Fogarty, who's pulled down the tackle ball up inside 50 for the Blues, down to Lex.
Sorry, Simon Goodwin had a quick chat to him. He's getting his right shoulder looked at the moment. He just stood up. He looks like he's okay. But in the meantime, Carlton have made their sum or are making that. So Corey Durden comes into the action for Francis Evans.
All right, thank you, Lex. A chance for the Demons as Jefferson takes a good mark from the Clayton Oliver clearance.
Had a couple of moments, Clinchy Jefferson, in this game.
Matthew Jefferson for the Demons as they work it out wide through Salem. Mark is taken by Langford. Wants to try and get it up towards Sharp. In a tangle with Wiedering. Slaps it inside 50. Langdon sliding in down low. Saab the other way. It means Pickett's on his own. He dribbles it end over end towards goal and misses to the right-hand side. He is having some sort of night, Cozzy Pickett. 4 goals, 2 alongside his 16 disposals, and looking like the player who could do anything tonight. Carlton by 4 points.
Yeah, when you're hot, and those balls normally just do a leg break, Shane Warne leg break, and get in there.
Hollands to Wiedering in the right back pocket. Kicks down the line towards Chera. Remarks about centre wing. Chera already with a goal tonight coming in the opening quarter. Kicks down the wing, goes just over the back of Curnow and McDonald. Then McDonald can go in and try and pick it up again for the D's. Cripps comes in over the top of him to lock things up. And it'll be a ball up just forward of centre wing, favouring the Blues goal. And towards the city end of the MCG in the third term. And it's the Blues who have fought back to a 4-point lead as Cripps just curls the footy to the top of the 50. Good kick. It'll be a mark to the Blues and to Curnow. He's got it 50 out. He just wants to edge it slightly inboard, and that's what he does. He finds Young. Better angle. It'll still be a long kick, though, for Flynn Young to take.
I probably want Curnow taking that shot, to be honest.
Is that a confidence thing, do you think, the last few weeks?
Maybe a little bit, but it's also maybe Charlie trying to be a little bit unselfish as well. Look, better angle, but distance is still relatively the same. But that's what Charlie's paid for, to kick those goals when he takes marks inside 50.
So instead of Curnow, it's in the hands of Flynn Young, mid-season pick. Out of that Werribee premiership team that's brought a few players into the AFL since they won that drought-breaking premiership. From 51 metres out for his first goal in footy, he has got it. He roosts it towards goal, and all the Carlton players come around him to celebrate and acknowledge a 50-plus metre kick is what launches him into his first goal in the big time. Carlton's lead as well pushes out to 10 points. The Blues 9-4-58, the D's 7-6-48. 26 minutes played in the third term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Oh, you never forget your first goal, Boomer.
No, you don't, and you're right about Curnow. I was thinking exactly the same thing because he didn't put him in a better position in terms of distance. And Curnow's a star, and I thought, I'm not sure about this, but that was fantastic.
probably just
by the
being
young fella.
unselfish.
Yeah, and it's good too. First goal for the young fella. Like
Curto then tackles him to the ground.
They were on the ground.
He might have known more than we did. It was a beautiful kick for goal.
Yeah, he was.
Shots on Michael Voss in the coach's box. He's not really showing a lot of emotion at the moment. Carlton are out by 10 points, having booted the last 3 goals of the match. Melbourne kicked 4 goals to start this third quarter. Big collision involving Francis Evans and Stephen May. Back in the middle of the ground, Petrarca gets the clearance from Melbourne inside 50, leading out, no mark claim by Melcham. As Chandler's locked up by Ollie Hollins with support from Carroll.
Just watching Clayton Oliver and Cripps, they've been at it all night. So Oliver's got more the role on Cripps, but
Pitnet wins down the tap. Melcham kicks towards goal. It dribbles out of play in the left forward pocket.
So every centre bounce.
Yep.
Those two are starting a good 20 metres away from the centre circle, and the amount of holding that's going on by both of them, even now at this forward stoppage, they're just holding on and scrapping and scragging each other.
Thrown back into play, Melbourne deep in attack. Pitnet in front, taps it down against Gorn. Cripps, was he taken in the back by Oliver? Yes, he was. I want to ask you about Stephen Mayboomer. You played with Byron Pickett, you played with Glenn Archer. When these sort of incidents happen, how hard is it to put your mind back onto the game in front of you?
As a teammate?
As a teammate, yeah.
No, it's fine. No, you're not worried about that. There's so many incidents that happen in a game that you could look at if that's what you want to look at. But no, as a player, you're going to quickly get there and support him, make sure his head's right because he's an important player for you. But no, everyone moves on really, really, really quickly.
Francis Evans has been subbed off. Corey Durden into the action. De Koning kicks down, looking for Pitnet. Couldn't take the mark. Viney was there to pick it up. He sends the ball, hand passes it towards Jefferson, who couldn't take the mark. It's the Blues with the footy again. As the ball was walked down to De Koning, he then sends it back to Lord, who puts the kick right down to right half forward for the Blues through the hands of Chera. May's back into the action. He doesn't pick up the footy. McVee's there to help him out. Kicks it towards Fritsch, who spills the mark, able to gather it pretty easily and just kick right down the wing. Gaun's at the back, has plenty of Blues surrounding him. Ball spills to ground. In comes Carroll again, who can pick up the footy for the Blues. Just hacks the kick away, gets to Hewitt. Hand pass to De Koning. He can put the footy inside 50 to Motlop. Spills out of his hands. He had 2 to it. It just was a tough angle for him to mark it at. And in the end, it'll be a ball up right at the top of the 50 for the Blues.
It was a terrible kick by De Koning.
It was a helicopter, wasn't it?
Terrible.
Not exactly like a chopper.
How'd you say that first involvement with Stephen May? He wanted to attack the ball and then was a little hesitant.
Yeah. You can hear the Carlton supporters as well.
The one shoved out of it by Pitnet. It's gathered by Chera. Kicks towards goal. It clears Charlie Curnow, and Tom McDonald fumbles it through for a minor score. Carlton leading by 11 points at the almost half an hour mark of this third quarter. Meanwhile, in Western Australia, half-time there, it's the Tigers who lead by 9 points, 6-3-39 to the Eagles 4-6-30.
Rivers bringing in the footy for the D's. Long kick out to a packed little form. Again, Gaun's there. He had the front position alongside Pitnet. Went over the back of them. Petrarca keeps it in play. Hand pass to Fritsch. Cleverly just went over his head to try and keep it in play as well. Saad just chases it to the boundary. And right in front of the interchange gates, there'll be a throw-in.
They've got no goals from their little fellas, have they, the Blues?
Yeah.
Chera's got one. No, Motlop hasn't.
Even Zach Williams, who's been a goal scorer for this season with 18 for the season.
They've got 1 or 2 out of Francis Evans.
Yeah.
One out of Evans, one out of Chera.
Yep. Moyer's more of a medium, isn't he?
Yeah.
So Fritsch from the throwing hand passes it to Langford, who takes that hand pass and puts it into Lindsay. The sub inside 50 in the end. The two Ds spoil each other, and Melcham and Van Rooyen ran in front of Melcham, and they both kind of left it for each other in the end, and it clatters out of bounds for a throwing inside forward 50.
Is it the old rule, call the person back coming with the flight there?
Well,
that was one of our rules at North Melbourne.
I don't think Van Rooyen was coming back, though.
No, he was sideways, wasn't he? Yeah, it's a tough one. It was a really tough one. Probably a bit more voice would have been needed. Still
apologising to Jake Melcham, who was on the lead. Gawn lost his footing, slaps it down to Clayton Oliver, and game 200 towards the goal mouth. Melcham tries to slap it up. I think he was trying to volley it, but in the end rushed it through for a minor score. Carlton's lead is 10 points, 31 minutes gone, third quarter. Now, Neil makes a good point. I wanted to come back to this as well. Boomer, you can make $1 doing a class on balking the player on the mark. Was a master at it.
Yes, I'd love to be playing in today's new rules. No, with today's new rules where the man on the mark can't move. I would do what the young Carlton player did every single time and get 15 metres or 17.
How many marks you taking per game, though, Boo?
What about free kicks?
As the Blues work the footy up down the wing, kick inside the centre of the ground, and Melbourne will have a shot here. Windsor, hand pass to Fritsch, hand pass across to Lindsay, puts the kick inside 50, looking for Melksham, Wiedering at the back, might have been held on, and he was. Yep. Melksham just holding on to his arm in the end to slow things down, and Wiedering will take the
It's been a really good matchup. It's been a really good matchup. Well, clearly Melksham's got Wiedering for pace, but clearly Wiedering's got Melksham for strength.
3/4 time at the MCG. We could be in for a cracking final term. Carlton hold a 10-point advantage, 9-5-59 to the Demons 7-7-49. In that quarter, Melbourne booted 4 goals 4 to Carlton's 3 goals 1. So the Blues, having led by 8 points at quarter time, by 19 points at half time, hold a 10-point advantage, looking for their 7th win of the season. For the Blues, 4 goals to Ashton Moyer. What a game he's had. 2 goals to Charlie Curnow, individuals to Chera, Evans and Young. While for the Demons, 4 goals to Cozzy Pickett, individuals to Van Rooyen and to Melksham. The incident involving Stephen May and Francis Evans. Evans has been subbed out of the match, so Corey Durden has come in. The Demons also made their sub in that third quarter with Xavier Lindsay into the match at the expense of Colton Tholstrup. So we'll get the thoughts of Boomer and Adam Ramanaskas in just a moment. Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Every day, all around Australia, extraordinary people create moments that inspire. See them, hear them. All you have to do is nominate them at australianoftheyear.org.au.
This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Lines up the goals, Jacob Van Rooyen. 5 goals across the past 3 weeks for the Demons. Kicks towards goals, and it's straight and true, and he likes it.
Fritsch starts his approach from right on 50
to go.
In the long sleeves, he sends it through, and the Demons have put through 2 together in this third quarter through 5.5 minutes.
So Cozzy Pickett, 40 metres out, snaps towards goal for the D's. That is perfect. What a beautiful finish from a stellar player. Opposite side of the ground to where he just kicked one moment to go. He goes again to make it 2 from the toughest position on the ground. Cozzy's got it in his bag of tricks. He adds another one to his haul tonight. He's got 4.
The footy has ended up in the hands of Ashton Moyer, which is the right man for Carlton fans from 40 metres out. He comes in and capitalises.
So instead of Curnow, it's in the hands of Flynn Young, mid-season pick. From 51 metres out for his first goal in footy. He has got it.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
3/4 time of the MCG. Carlton leading Melbourne by 10 points, 9-5-59 to the Demons 7-7-49. Off the back of Melbourne's 4 goals to 3 in that third quarter, but it's still the Blues who lead. Meanwhile, over in Perth, it's the Tigers who lead by 15 points over the West Coast Eagles, 7-3-45 to the Eagles 4-6-30. There is an ABC call available on the ABC Listen app. Just look for the AFL Extra button. Tim Taranto with 2 goals, Seth Campbell with 2 goals as well for the Tigers. And in the rugby between the Wallabies and the British and Irish Lions, 65 minutes gone. It's the visitors 24 to the Wallabies 5. The thoughts of Adam Ramanaskas and Brent Harvey with you, your experts on ABC Sport.
Well, it was a sort of a funny quarter, wasn't it? Because Melbourne kicked the first 4 goals in 12 minutes, Rama. Got off to an absolute flying start, and then the Blues, Evans, Moyer and Young kicked one as well. So 4 goals to 3 for the quarter. The big stat out of the quarter, though, 16 inside 50s for Melbourne to Carlton's 8. So they probably should have dominated the scoreboard a little bit more, but they looked sensational in the first part of that quarter, but then Carlton just edged away, got the game back on their terms and end up hitting the scoreboard themselves. The big talking point from the quarter, though, is going to be Stephen May, isn't it, unfortunately, for him. We know how hard the game is, Rama, because we've both played it, and you said a split second. I reckon it was a little bit less than a split second, and the ball was in between both of them. And yes, the AFL do want you to stop so there's no collision, but unfortunately a player like Stephen May, that's not in. He didn't get taught that, did he? It's footy instinct takes over, and he wants to win that football just as much as anyone. And unfortunately, his shoulder clips a young Carlton player. across the cheekbone, it looked like, or across the bridge of the nose, maybe. So there was certainly some high contact. The blood rule, and now the concussion rule comes into it. So unfortunately for Stephen May, it looks like it might be in a little bit of strife.
Well, I thought where Melbourne went to work that quarter, so was around the contest. So I mentioned in that second quarter, Melbourne lost clearance 13-3. So that quarter they win clearance 10-8, but they also win contested possession. They were plus 12 in contested possession that quarter. So went to work around the contest. Simon Goodman would have been disappointed with that at half time. So that's what gets them back into the game early, particularly early in that quarter. Now, we sit in a spot where it's anybody's game. 10 points the margin in this contest. But you sort of look, well, who was moving the ball better late in that quarter? Whose forward line was starting to function a little bit better? Whose mids were starting to get on top? Everything starts to point back towards Melbourne, unfortunately, for Blues fans, where you sort of look at it and go, Van Rooyen was starting to get a little bit of the ball forward. Dave Lindsay starts to get the ball through the middle of the ground as a sub. They're working better around contests. Max Gawn had a big third quarter. So it's really now, Carlton, don't try save the game. Go and win the game. Go and win the game. Go and score in this quarter. Kick 4 or 5 goals and make it really difficult. That means Melbourne would have to kick 7 goals to beat you in this final quarter.
All in readiness for the final term. Carlton leading by 10 points. A chance for one of these sides to record their 7th win of the season. 13th taking on 12th. Max Gawn and Mark Pitnet get us underway. Neither gets a decisive tap. It's socket off the ground by Patrick Cripps. Ricochets off Pickett, not just once but twice. Then spills into the path of Max Gawn. Out past to Oliver, back to Pickett. Looks for French, who takes the mark. In the leading lane, Cowan tried to get back to get a fist in there. Couldn't do so to support Haynes. And Bailey Fritsch in the opening 30 seconds.
Well, centre clearance. Simply there.
It's hard to stop when you get a centre clearance. You've got the 6-6-6, so it doesn't matter. You can't do it. Has he got the leg on him?
Fritsch kicked 1 goal already in the third quarter. A chance to start this final term red hot for the Demons. Their spearhead from 50 metres out. Bailey Fritsch sets flight. It's a good effort. He comfortably clears the goal line. And the Demons show clear intent to start this final term. In Clayton Oliver's 200th match, the margin is back to 4 points Carlton's way. 9-5-59 to the Demons 8-7-55. Bailey Fritsch with his second of the match.
Well, Rama, you said the centre clearance. It's an underestimated stat. I don't know how much. I'm sure the midfield coach puts a lot of time and effort into it, but the thing is, for the listeners out there, if you win the centre bounce clearances, yes, it's important. You're going in 1v1, so they can't get a spare man behind the ball. But more importantly, if you don't score, you are setting up your backs. They all rush up to the centre of the ground, and if the opposition happen to win it, you get a repeat inside 50 if you set up well enough. So there's so many factors that's so important for centre bounce clearances, and that was the main one right there. You win it, you hit it forward, he kicks a goal. That's football 101.
And now Melbourne are within 4 points. Back in the middle, Petrarca going after it. Grabs the footy. He's grabbed by Pitnet, though, who holds him down. He's hurt. So Petrarca's sore. He's getting helped up by Oliver.
Knee caught. He's okay. He's going to hobble out of this contest, but...
Yeah, he's hobbling a little bit, starting to run again back to the back of the stoppage as it's tossed up. Oliver tried to grab it in the end. It's the Blues that emerge, though. Pitnet with the footy just kicks it down to half forward. It's tapped away by Durden, still tapping it inside forward 50. Then Williams taps it away down to Young. He'll have a shot at goal. He hits the right post.
That would have been nice. Nice little finish.
It was a good snap from Flynn Young that he can't add to his 1 goal. It's just behind Carlton's lead back out to 5.
On VFL, Flynn Young now in the AFL as Bowie brings Melbourne back into play. Veers out to the right, kicks up towards Gawn and Pitnet. The two tangle. Gawn got a good piece of it, can't hang on to the mark. Spills out to Petrarca. His hand pass picked off by Cowan. Petrarca came in and got Doherty high. Free kick going the way of the Blues. Lex Pesher on the boundary.
Just an update from Carlton. Francis Evans has entered concussion protocol, still assessing whether he's actually broken something from that incident with Stephen May.
Thanks, Lex. Involved in a collision in which Stephen May went past the ball, collected him with his right shoulder. Francis Evans was subbed out of the match. The kick up towards the 50. from Doherty. It's sprawled out of play. Max Gawn getting back to support Stephen May, and a boundary throw in 50 metres out from the Blues goal. Carlton 9-6-60 to Melbourne 8-7-55. 3 minutes gone in the final term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Mark Lynch and Lauren Borden calling the action. Lex Pesce down on the boundary. Adam Romanascus and Brent Harvey, your experts. Pitnet wins it down to the front. Pickett read it best. Kicks past Chandler. Up towards Jefferson. Hand pass chopped off by Sard. Tackle by Chandler. Spills out to Doherty. O'Farrell too slow. Kick smothered by Jefferson. Now it's Hewitt's problem. Broke out of the Pickett tackle. He was legged. The Blues could take the advantage through Cowan, but now it'll come back to Hewitt.
So Hewitt will have the footy and he's looking for Sard. It goes just through the fingertips of Pickett. The kick was flat and Pickett could get a hand to it. So it's Melbourne that can emerge with the footy with Rivers. Hand pass back to Salem, who kicks long down the outer wing. He was looking for Fritsch. Haynes had front position. And Haynes will get the free kick as well for a little push in the back. Just chips out wide to Lord. And Lord's got it inside of the southern stand. It's just the Blues leading by 5 points. They did lead it by as much as 19 in the second quarter. And Lord will kick right to right half forward. Oliver rose up, couldn't take the footy. McDonald at the drop though can take it. Hand pass it to Bowie. His kick though goes straight into the hands of Durden of the Blues. Hand passes it away, but he locks it inside forward 50 for the Blues, where we'll have a boundary throw in. It's Carlton leading by 5 points, 4 minutes played in the final term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Demons with a goal. The Blues are the behind so far in this final term. Through 5 minutes. Thrown in. Carlton in there attacking 50. Gawn wins down the tap. Curno's on the move. Can't gather it. He tries to slap it back in a play. Let go off the boot. No. If Caleb Windsor. Umpire says the back heel. Throw it in. Look closer than what he thought, the umpire, who dismissed it pretty quickly.
I think Caleb Windsor's walking away guilty as well.
Charlie Curno's having a look at the big screen and letting the umpire know. Carlton inside their attacking 50, thrown in. Out the punt road end. Gawn tries to slap it to the back. Hewitt races after it. Oliver as well. Oliver tackled by Hewitt. Got it to Pickett. He dropped it and drop-kicked it up towards half-back. Where Sard gathers for the Blues. Cuts onto his left. High ball inside 50. Gawn juggles the mark.
Well, this is the challenge for both De Koning and Pitney in this last quarter. Max Gawn gets better and better as the game goes on because he's so fit. They've just got to make sure it's an even contest. Don't let Gawn dominate this last quarter.
Last week we've seen him take Christian Sherry forward a lot, just sprint forward, and Big X couldn't keep up with him, unfortunately. See if he does it again tonight.
Demon shared around the defensive half of the ground. Then Bowie has it kicking out wide to Fritsch. This one will be punched over the boundary line. O'Farrell coming in to support. And it'll be a throw-in right on centre wing. Outer side of the ground. Carlton leading by 5 points. The D's did get up by 5 early on in the third term. And the Blues able to work their way back in front in this final term. 6.5 minutes played in the last quarter. Both sides looking for their 7th win of the season. It's tossed in and Cripps just soccers it along the ground. It gets to Moya, spills out of his hands. Then Viney has a go at it. Petrarca has it, hand passes it away. Cripps steals it, hand passes it across to Fogarty. He goes inside 50 now for the Blues. No mark can be taken by Curnow. Ball bobbling towards the goal square. Rivers desperately trying to grab it for the Demons defence. Hand passes it away. Langford trying to hold on to it. It's soccered back. Salem on the last line of defence can hold on to it.
De Koning got to go to him.
In the goal square, and he runs around, no pressure put on him, and can kick it outside of defensive 50. It'll be ricocheted back in. Lord gets a hand to it. Comes out towards Cripps. Hand pass to Pitnet. Hand pass backwards towards Williams, who skies the footy inside 50. De Koning 2 hands, couldn't take the mark. And then Salem comes in trying to grab it. Van Rooyen will have a go at it. Everyone's in there for the D's. And finally, it's Bowie who tries to clear the footy. He gets tackled holding the ball.
Great tackle. Was that Doherty, is it?
Yeah, good job, Sam Doherty.
Yeah, just come from the side. Yeah. Bowie should have had a lot more awareness than that. He didn't see him coming for some reason.
Well, there was no option presenting forward of the ball. All Melbourne players were covered and they're all running backwards, Boomer, rather than going to the ball and give the kicker an option.
We spoke about chaos in the first quarter and who it suits more, and it was Carlton in that moment who just did everything to lock it inside. And then Doherty earns himself a kick at goals and a set shot from directly in front as well. Just to give the Blues a little breathing space. They're up by 5 points as Doherty runs in over the blue paint of 50. Launches the ball towards goal. And that sails into the 10th row. And the Blues now have a little bit of space to breathe. 11 points their lead. 10-6-66. They're leading the Demons 8-7-55. 8.5 minutes played in the final term. Your ABC sport experts, Boomer Harvey and Adam Ramanauskas.
It's funny, on the goal line, nobody wants to take the ball through. They're so uncertain about the rule, and I think it was Salem that had the ball, and De Koning should have went to him, but he just sort of let him play off. But outstanding chase and tackle by Doherty. That was sensational. That's a match winner right there, Ramo. When you win, that should be the first thing they show on Monday if you win the game. Sensational play.
If this is his last season in navy blue, what a legacy he has left. On 2 occasions he's fought cancer, and once more a desperate effort there to get the Blues their first goal of the final term and stretch the lead to 11 points. Back in the middle of the ground, Max going up against Mark Pitnet. Pitnet wins down the tap. Hewitt tackled by Cozzy Pickett. He'd lost the footy in the process. And the free kick will go Carlton's way through George Hewitt. He looks and spots Captain Patrick Cripps all on his own at centre half forward. He takes the mark, but he's still 2 kicks out from goal. He hand passes over the top to Carroll, who gets inside 50, off a step, turns and goes bang! Carlton with 2 quick goals in succession, and they come from everywhere to celebrate Matt Carroll's first goal in AFL footy. They are finding a way to answer the efforts of Doherty inside the forward 50, and now another youngster who was originally picked up as a rookie in 2023, delisted at the end of 2024, and then picked up with one of the last spots on the list at the start of 2025 with the SSP. And Ramon, we know the influence these players can have when they take their chance. Carlton now by 17 points.
Well, he just got forward there, Matt Carroll, so no one came to him. A little handball over the top. Then just the joy on his face there. Kicking his first goal in AFL football. He has done it the hard way, Clinchy. Had to go off the list to come back onto the list. He's really taken his opportunity this season. I think he's up to 16 games now for the season. So is that right? Am I close?
Just under. He's 12.
12 games. So he's going to end up with about 16 games, sorry.
So the Blues will have another centre clearance here. Hewitt hand pass to Sard, just skies the footy all the way to the edge of the square. McVee's at the drop, taps it away. Pickett's there to collect. Hand pass away to Langford, who can go with a flying hand pass to Lindsay, who's come on as the sub. Hand passes it across to Oliver, who bounces down the wing and chips the kick to the top of the 50s. Found Chandler, 55 metres from goal. Hand pass to Lindsay to get one back for the D's. It's offline. Can a mark be taken on the line? No. Fritsch and Van Rooyen were there. It went over, and it's just a minor score. Carlton's lead now 16 points, 11-6, playing 8, 11 minutes played in the last quarter.
Inside 50s, Boomer, 7-2 in Carlton's favour. So Melbourne got that all-important first goal, then Carlton have got the next 2.
Hollins brings the Blues back into play, straight down the middle. It's a risky kick looking for Cripps, spoiled down by Gawn. Langdon knocks it out into the path of Bowie, trying to get it to Salem's advantage. Hand pass came out from Windsor, chopped off by Chera, tackled by Langdon. Hand pass to Hollins, to De Koning, bumped as he got a hand pass away. Fogarty got it forward to Motlop, it'll come back after De Koning received that bump. I think he realises the free kick is his, so umpire just waves play on as Jesse Motlop switches it out to Flynn Young, who marks it left half back. Sends it in the direction of Corey Durden, the sub into the action. Spoiled away from him by Langford. It's picked up by Hewitt. Quick hand pass to Motlop. Retreats back to Flynn Young. Cuts around Petrarca, then lost his footing. Turns it over. Although Lindsay's hand pass as he slipped over. There's going to be a Carlton free kick, and Young will take it. The umpire gestured he was taken high, but hard to spot exactly what that was.
Slipped over as well. So Flynn Young, though, will have the free. He's another who's kicked his first goal tonight alongside his teammate Matt Carroll, and he just goes long down the line. De Koning taps it down to the ground. It's picked up by Viney, though. Hand pass to Bowie, who tries to gain some space, tries to gain some lineage rather for the D's. It's turned over, though, and Sard intercepts for the Blues, down to Lex on the boundary.
Francis Evans has just come back to the Carlton bench. No bandages on his face, so I guess that's a good sign for nothing broken.
That nose is going to be sore in the morning, Lex. Got no doubt there'll be a fair bit of bruising there. Stephen May will await his fate as Nick Haynes with the Blues leading by 16 points up towards half forward. Good mark. Clayton Oliver in front of Tom De Koning. In game 200, the Melbourne midfielder gets the hand pass away to Bowie and chips it to Chandler. Takes the mark still inside the defensive 50 for Melbourne. Tries to spot a kick to Langdon in the middle of the ground. Takes the mark, looks for options out on the Warren wing. Hand passes it wide to Bowie. Having been run down by Doherty, kicks up towards half forward. Van Rooyen takes the mark. He's got Pickett in the pocket. Against Sard, he goes for it, and the kick is wide. Pickett gathers, hand pass through Sard's leg, then lays the tackle on O'Farrell. It was not a bad rope-a-dope effort, but in the end, the two Blues survived.
He nutmegged him, the ball straight between his legs. 2v1, unfortunately. If he wasn't there, it would have been probably goal of the year.
Carlton ahead by 16 points in this final term at the MCG. Gone to Koning in the ruck, palm behind towards Chera. Hand pass to Cripps, who can clear the defensive 50. Goes out wide over the fingertips of Curnow. Windsor will run onto it for the Ds. Holds onto it, and he's happy to carry it over the boundary line for a throw-in. So the ball will be tossed in just forward of centre wing, favouring Melbourne's side, or Melbourne's goals. Looking towards the city end of the ground, and it's 16-point deficit that the Ds need to make up. They've lost the past 3 games to the Blues. All of those were in single digits. They're currently trailing by 16. As the ball's tossed in, Gawn taps it down. Chera is able to gather though. Hand pass towards Fogarty. Drops the footy. Does well to soccer it along the turf though, as Rivers beats Motlop to the footy. Takes it. Hand pass to Oliver, who hand passes back to Viney. The D's trying to do something with the footy on the southern wing. He dodges left and right, then kicks right down the line. Gawn will gather it for the Demons. Hand pass towards Rivers, who's come back to get the footy. Again, he dances around before hand passing it to Langdon, who goes with a longer footy inside 50, just past Lindsay, and Malcolm goes and meets Lord with the footy, takes him to the turf. Still the D's with the footy. Salem has it. He'll have a flying shot at goal, but it's Wiedering right down in the goal square, who can intercept the footy for the Blues, stop any score from being registered, and Carlton remain with their 16-point lead.
Midway through the final term, Melbourne need to start to get some things to happen. Wiedering's clearing kick up towards Moyer. Worked underneath it. It clears to the back where McVie gathers. Hand pass missed Bowie. Motlop puts the pressure on. Stephen May gets a hand pass. Back to Bowie for Melbourne. To Turner. Who hand passes it to Lindsay. Gestures a hand pass forward to Langdon. Tackled and dispossessed. Langford soccers it forward. That's where Chandler and Van Rooyen lay the tackle. And Jacob Wiedering is the player stuck in the middle. Murray from Geelong says, go the Blues. Can you tell us the Storm score, please? In the NRL tonight, the Melbourne Storm went down to the Manly Sea Eagles, 18 points to 16. And in the Rugby Union, the British and Irish Lions has defeated the Wallabies 27 points to 19. Langford from the stoppage. In fact, it was Lindsay for Melbourne who got the clearance and sent it towards the goal mouth, but Carroll takes the intercepting mark and switches it into the back pocket for Sam Doherty, the last 2 goal scorers in the match, the Blues by 16 points.
Doherty with a fantastic run-down tackle that earned that set shot at goals. And he sends a long kick down to a packet. Spills out the back in the end. Again, Bowie just punches it along the ground to get it towards Salem. Hand pass to Viney. Hand pass to Langdon, who curls the kick inside 50. He's looking for Malcolm. In the end, closing was O'Farrell. It spills to Fritsch anyway. He'll have a snap at goal. He misses.
Need to finish that one, Bailey Fritsch. Yep.
They needed that one, Melbourne, to stay in touch. Carlton's lead cut back to 15.
Carlton just take the speed off the ball now, chip around. I know there's still a long time to go, and they still probably need to score at least one more goal, but they'll take a little bit of time. Every possession, an extra 3, an extra 4 seconds. Whereas Melbourne, on the other hand, they have to finish the work by Bailey Fritsch there.
In Perth, the Tigers by 33 points over the West Coast Eagles. Sard brings the Blues back into play. This kick is intercepted, though, by Stephen May, who turns and kicks for Van Rooyen on the lead. He reaches up and takes the mark. Holland's tried to get back to interject. And a good mark at its highest point as Van Rooyen rise and marks just right of centre, 45 metres out from goal.
Well, we're getting deep now into this final quarter, heading towards time on. There's still 8.5 minutes of actual playing time remaining. Just feel like this one needs to go through for the Demons.
About the last 2 scores in the match, but both have been behinds. And a chance now for Jacob Van Rooyen, looking for his second. how Melbourne fans would love to see him fire in the final term. His shot is offline to the left and a minor score. There's a young fan in the Demons cheer squad who holds up a bullseye. Not to be on this occasion. Carlton by 14 points.
Sard shares it with O'Farrell, who kicks out in the Carroll direction, gathers and puts the kick to centre wing. Motlop's there to gather it, then he loses control of the footy, gathers it again, hand passes it, he's still falling over, but can hand pass it down across in the end to Williams, who moves the footy inside 50. A mark will be taken, and it is Ashton Moyer who is on the end of it. And he'll have a shot to kick his 5th for tonight.
Well, certainly they've found one in Ashton Moyer. He's, as Boomer mentioned, he's not a small forward, he's more that medium forward, so can mark the ball in the air, can get it on the ground. So it's a really tricky matchup.
So in will come Ashton Moyer from 40 metres out. The South Australian to bag a haul of 5 that is offline completely.
I was just about to say, he has got a beautiful routine. Yeah. Beautiful. He's actually he kicks through the football. He's got a beautiful follow through. Even that looked okay. Obviously, it went out of bounds on the full, so it wasn't a great kick, but it still looked smooth.
Signed till 2026, Ashton Moyer only played the 2 games last season. As Salem moves Melbourne out of defence to Fritsch. Gets it up over the top to Bowie, who links up across half back with Turner. Kicks up the wing. On the break here, Jefferson dropped the mark, regathers, hand pass to Viney, tries to loop it over the top. Lindsay kept running, hemmed in against the boundary. Got a push.
Got to be a push.
Yep, made it.
Kick went out on the full, but it will come back.
Yeah, that happens so often that, and umpires just don't pick it up.
So Farrell, who was desperately trying to make up ground and go away the free kick. Lindsay comes inboard to Bailey Fritsch, but he's further out from goal, 85 metres out. Heading to the city end of this final term. He wants to switch it and miss Stephen May with his kick on the bounce. He can gather. As Tom McDonald as he moves it laterally across the MCG.
So Rema, they've got the ball 60 out and now they are 110 out.
Easily.
And they've got to win the game.
And Tom McDonald just chips it towards Salem, who goes further forward. He had Viney on the lead, who swivels around and he'll put it into the hot spot inside 50 for the D's. Van Rooyen was at the back. It eventually spills to him. He just hand passes it in a hurry. There'll be a shot at goal. It was Pickett on the end of it. In the pack, he had a go at it. And he has put it through. He has kept Melbourne in touch. And he's got 5. Cozzy Pickett with 5 goals for tonight. And he just pushes that one through for a goal to keep the D's in touch. It's Melbourne 9-10-64, Carlton 11-6-72. 21 minutes have been played. 8 points is Carlton's lead.
Well, he's the only one that's going to beat them. I don't know what Adam Sard again is thinking there. Like the old rule is if your player goes up, you go up. Because he went to the front of the contest to crumb it, Adam Sard tries to go up in the contest. Has no impact on that contest at all. Pickett there, as a good small forward does, gets involved in the little front and square, and it's a little one off the ground.
It stays on the ground. Yeah. The best players that play on when you are a small forward is the ones that will leave you and go and try to impact the contest. You stay on the ground and the ball's going to, when there's a pack of 5 or 6 players, the ball's going to come to the ground more often than not, and you get a nice look at it like Cozzy just did then. 22
disposals, 5 goals, 2 for Cozzy Pickett tonight. As Clayton Oliver gets the clearance from Melbourne, a 1-2 as he drives him inside 50. Jefferson, don't think he held on to it as it hit the ground, but he'll get a free kick for high.
Yeah, he is.
Initially it was pointed the other direction, but now Jefferson will get the shot on goal.
Silly by Adam Chera.
This becomes
sliding
huge.
In down low as Jefferson was first on the footy and was taken high.
I love the contest there by Jefferson. Didn't mark it, but went back at ground level and got it. Deserved to get the free kick.
Matthew Jefferson, picked 15 back in 2022 in just his 7th match of AFL footy. How he's waited for this chance. He comes in from 45 metres out. He likes it off the boot. Can he clear the fingertips of O'Farrell? He can. Here come the Demons. 2 quick goals in the space of 3 minutes, and it's back to a 2-point ball game Carlton's way. Oh, Blues fans know this feeling all too well. 11-6-72 to the Demons, 10-10-70. It ain't over till it's over, and there's still 5.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, well, plenty of time in this game. So Again, it comes back to what I said at the start of this quarter. Carlton, don't save the game, win the game. Go and win the game. So Melbourne now kick 3 goals in this quarter to your 2. Go and kick another 2 goals now late in this quarter. Try to shut the door. They're not good enough to drop players back and think they can hold up a team from scoring. It's just not how their seasons progress. They've got to go and score. They've got to take the ball forward. Melbourne are going to be taking every risk they possibly can at the moment, so it's going to give Carlton still plenty of opportunities as well.
2 in 2 minutes for the Demons.
Carlton have won these last 3 encounters by 4 points, 2 points and 1 point. They're currently ahead by 2 points, but the D's are coming as from the middle. Chandler trying to gather the footy, can just get a hand pass away. Fritsch has got it, hand pass across to Pickett. Will put the kick inside the forward pocket for the D's. Wiedering was out the front, tapped it away. It's Jefferson running in after it though. He has the footy, takes it to ground. He's held on by Wiedering. Ball will spill out. Few players surrounding the footy, and the umpire will have to come in and toss it up close to the boundary line, 55 metres out from Melbourne's goal.
I know Weathering's a lot stronger than Melcham, but the kicks to Melcham haven't been fantastic. They need to be out more in space so he can use his leg speed.
Pitnet and Gone the ruck. Gone taps it through the fingertips of Viney, and then Doherty grabs it, and he's grabbed by Fritsch, and it'll be another ball up at the top of the 50. It is Carlton leading by 2 points in front of 40,000 plus the MCG tonight.
Thrown up, Pitnet wins down the tap against Gawn. Socket off the ground by Cripps, can't clear the congestion. Fogarty slides in, Oliver just slaps it out, but the umpire had blown the whistle. And a ball up 55 metres out from Melbourne's goal. In fact, right on the paint of 50 as it's thrown aloft. Pitnet tries to slap it down. Gawn follows up, knocks it out to Salem. Only as far as Cripps. His hand pass as he kicks it out on the full. Melbourne taking it back and trailing by just 2 points. How do the Blues manage time here, Rammer?
Well, they don't manage time.
They've got to score. They've got to score. You're right.
It's got a silly question. As the Demons take the free kick through Bowie, inside 50, clears Jefferson, although the mark was dropped by Haynes. Jefferson keeps it alive. Hand pass out to Viney. His kick is smothered by Hollands. It spills out. Pickett knocks it to Petrarca. Kicks to the goal mouth. Melcham used his boot cleverly. Hand pass from Lord. Gets them out of defence with a hand pass to Durden. Kick risky into the middle of the ground. It eludes everyone. Salem gathers, sends it in the pocket. Sharp can't take the mark. And Durden's run down by Oliver. Still a chance for the Blues as Sharp slides in and Lord lays the tackle on
that
him.
Is absolutely holding the ball against Corey Durden. It's a really poor miss by the umpire.
Leighton Oliver is furious.
Yeah.
He's fuming. So it's a ball up in the end, just at the top of the 50 for Melbourne. Hewitt grabs it and hand passes it across to Chera. He'll kick long down the line. It'll be a 2-on-1. Curno's not playing it. In comes the fourth into Koning. Flies over the 3 going for the footy. Leaves a couple down on the grass in his wake and takes the mark. May's down, Curno's down. They're slowly getting up. As De Koning chips it across to Lord, will move the footy inside 50 for the Blues. It'll take a bounce and go out of bounds and throw in 45 metres from the Blues goal. But how about that mark from De Koning?
Terrific. Just wish we saw it more often with TDK.
You mentioned Loz, 7 of the last 12 games between these two sides have been decided by less than 10 points. The Blues have won the last 3. Thrown back in. Pitnet in front position against Gawn. Carlton by 2 points. Whistle. Not officiating umpire in the middle of the ground. Says a hold. Free kick going the Blues.
And it's against Clayton Oliver. So he got the little block and there was a handover and he grabs Charlie Curnow for no reason. Virtually tackles him to the ground. It was unnecessary by Oliver.
Footy in the hands of the Carlton spearhead. A 2-time Coleman medalist. He gave off his last shot on goal to Flynn Young, who banged it through. Can he meet the moment? Out to the left. Having been held goalless in his previous 4 games, he kicked 2 goals in the opening quarter. The Blues need their main man to stand up here. Curnow starts his approach. Outside 50. From a free kick, he veers out to the right. Fires it at the right goal post. Bends it back perfectly. He turns to the Carlton fans and pumps his chest. The Blues lead by 8 points. And after 2 quick goals for the Demons, the Navy Blue response. 12-6-78 to Melbourne 10-10-70. What that must mean for Charlie Curnow and the Carlton fans.
Well, terrific there. That's what you want your big spearhead forward to do. Take the moment. He passed that one in the third quarter to Young for his first goal in AFL football, but there he has to take that responsibility, and he took that so well. But what he's doing now, he's gone up to the wing, started up on the wing for this centre bounce, so clearly he's going to drop behind the ball for this last 2 minutes 46 seconds and try save the game for the Blues. He's got his opponent as Harvey Langford, so Langford's got to recognise this now. To recognise he's going to be free. Curnow is literally going to run straight into defence here, and Harvey Langford's going to be free on this wing.
So Gawn taps it down, then he has to go after it, takes it, can just get a kick away with Pitnet tackling him. Bowie can take it, but it was only 5 metres away, the kick, so he's taken in the tackle by Cripps and Chera and held up in the centre of the MCG.
They've gone with him. Turner's gone down there with him and just come to the...
Langford's coming up to the contest, dragging Ollie Hollands out.
Carlton ahead by 8 points. Not long left in this match at the MCG. Rivers just soccers it forward to centre half forward. Doherty collects for the Blues. Hand pass to Williams. Hand pass to Carroll, who clears the kick to centre wing into some space. Langford running after it in a battle against Lord, and they both take it over the boundary line for a throw-in. So just next to the Carlton bench, there will be a throw-in. The D's led by 5 points in the third term. But it's Carlton who have got back into the lead. Out by 8 after that Curnow goal, his third of the match, and he pushed Carlton back out by 8 points.
Simon Goodwin on the bench, gesturing as Stephen May has to come from the field. Michael Voss in the coach's box. Just a reminder, on Saturday night, the sports coverage will continue on all local radio platforms. If you want to listen to Saturday Night Country, you can head to ABC Country on your digital radio, on the ABC Listen app, or via your TV through channel 203. From the throw-in, spills down the way of Christian Petrarca. He's tackled by Chera, and the ball goes out of play. Carlton hold an 8-point advantage, looking to snap a 4-game losing streak. The Demons snapped their own 5-game losing streak last week against North Melbourne. As it's thrown in, centre wing on the members' side. Gawn and Pitnet tangle. It taps down to space where Hewitt tries to run onto it. He lost his footing against Viney. Oliver got down low, taken high. Motlop came in late, although with a little jab to the thigh of Tom de Koning. And game 200 for Clary as he switches back inside defensive 50. Melbourne are going to have to take some risks here. Under 2 minutes to go.
Got to go.
Into Tom McDonald. Too slow to move it. Tries to go for Salem. Missed him, and Cripps takes the intercepting mark. Paddy Cripps has it. The Carlton captain in no urgency now. He looks out onto the wing, chips it out, and Cooper Lord marks for the Blues.
So Lord has it, he knows what to do, just hold on to it and hold things up. They've got a little buffer now, the Blues. 8 points their lead as Lord swings the kick to half forward. De Koning 2 hands to it, just touches it over the line for a boundary throw-in. So the Blues just slowly edging towards their goal, edging towards a little bit of safety, and edging towards a likely 7th win for the season. As the umpire readies himself to toss the ball in at the top of Carlton's attacking 50. Gawn and Pitnet at it. Gawn just with a big whack to get some distance for the D's. It's tapped back by Williams. Then Cripps was held onto by Oliver, and it'll be a free kick going the way of Cripps against Clayton, who can't believe it.
He's been very good, Paddy Cripps, in this last term. Coming up for his 10th possession.
Yeah.
A couple of the clearances. A lot of that real hard work he's had to do this last quarter, Paddy Cripps.
Cripps into the pocket. It's too wide for Pitnet. Free kick going Melbourne's way. Out on the full, and Max Gawn is going to take it. Under a minute to go. So the Demons would have to be perfect from here onwards. Some Carlton fans reluctantly give him the ball, and Gawn chips it over the top to Rivers. He juggles the mark. Would have been paid a free kick against Fogarty. And right half back, he plays on and runs the boundary line. Van Rooyen has already led, so kicks a high ball up into the middle of the ground, needing Turner to fly. Curnow's got back, he can't get a hand to it. Spills out, Sard one way, the Rivers the other. Sard slaps it towards the boundary. Umpire says throw it in. No, not sufficient intent. Rivers quickly takes it. It's all chaos now. Curnow's got back. Long kick for Melksham. He's outnumbered 4-on-1. And Jacob Wiedering takes the mark. And Carlton fans rejoice.
Just got to go central, that kick from Trent Rivers. I know it's easy sitting up here, but all the numbers were down the line, so you've got to take the ball off the line to give your forward some sort of chance.
Wiedering with a long kick down the line. Gawn has front position. McDonald just taps it, trying to keep it in. But the Blues fans are starting to cheer now.
No, I totally agree, Rama. The kick down the line doesn't work when you need to kick 2 goals in a minute and 10 seconds. You've got to go. You've got to take risks. You've got to get the ball through the middle. You've got to play surge football. Knock it on, kick it on at all costs. Melbourne played down the line. Played in the Carlton's hands, unfortunately.
Meanwhile, a stoppage on the broadcast side. Another one is exactly what the Blues want.
Max Gawn coming from the field with blood streaming down his forehead.
As Van Rooyen coming to the ruck against Pitternet. The last throw-in of the match. Pitternet palms it down. The umpire's found a free kick, and it'll be going the Blues' way. And Pitternet will be handed the footy late in this match. Right on centre wing for the Blues. They're a club under pressure. The coach is under scrutiny, but the Blues win their first win in a month. They defeat Melbourne by 8 points.
We are the Navy Blues. We are the old dark Navy Blues. We're the team that never lets you down. We're the only team old Carlton knows. We're all the champions they like to send up. We'll keep our end up, and they will know that they've been playing against the famous old dark Blues.
They get the relief of a win in front of 40,869 fans at the MCG. It was a 6-goal opening quarter across both sides, an entertaining start that saw Carlton lead by 8 points at quarter time. They pushed it out to 19 points at half-time, scoring the only 2 goals of the quarter. Melbourne fought back in the third, but still Carlton held a 10-point lead at three-quarter time, ultimately winning the match by 8 points. Their youngster Ashton Moyer leading the way in terms of goal kicking for the Blues with 4. It was Cozzy Pickett who had 5 for the D's, but it is the Blues victorious by 8 points.
We are the old dark Navy Blues. We're the team that never lets you down. We're the only team old Carlton knows. We're all the champions they like to send up. We'll keep our end up, and they will know that they've been playing against the famous old dark Blues.
So Carlton get the win, 12-6-78 against Melbourne, 10-10-70. Their 7th win of the season. They go to a record of 7-11, while the D's stay at 6 wins and 11 losses in Clayton Oliver's 200th game. The goal kickers for tonight, it was Ashton Moyer with 4 who led the way for the Blues. Charlie Curnow with 3. Singles to Chera, Doherty, Carroll and Flynn. And then for Melbourne, it was 5 goals to Cozzy Pickett, who did his best to pull Melbourne over the line. Bailey Fritsch with a couple, Jefferson, Melksham and Van Rooyen there with singles for the D's. But it is the Blues by 8.
The Baggers get to sing the song for the first time since round 14 against the West Coast Eagles. They snap a 4-game losing streak. An enthralling final term in which both sides kicked 3 goals. And the Blues finished on top. Brett Harvey and Adam Ramanauskas with their assessment on Carlton's 8-point win.
Well, Rama, it was a good win by the Blues. We got spoiled in the first quarter, 7 goals, and in the second quarter, all sitting there scratching their heads, and Moyer kicked the only 2 goals 23 minutes apart, one at the 3-minute mark and one at the 26-minute mark, and the game didn't look amazing, 40-21 at half-time, but to the credit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, another 7 goals in the third quarter. But it was the Cozzy Pickett show for me. I know they didn't get over the line, but gee whiz, they didn't have him. They would have lost by a lot more. He was sensational. I just love the way he's going about his football. 5 goals tonight. He was fantastic. I know they've lost, and we probably shouldn't be talking about him, but 5 goals and 23 possessions. 5 goals, 2, 7 shots on goal. He's a good player, isn't he?
Well, he's certainly a good player. But I look at how Carlton got their goals in that last quarter. So Sam Doherty, amazing tackle on Jake Bowie. Terrific tackle, run down. Was more from the side. Then Matt Carroll gets a little handball over the top because Melbourne defenders don't want to push up and man him up. He kicks the goal. Then the last goal is from Charlie Curnow Clayton Oliver gives away a silly free kick in the contest, just holds on to him, drags him down to the ground. So it's 3 moments that Carlton really took in that last quarter when they needed to. Melbourne, on the other hand, can be really disappointed because they gave up 3 goals in that last quarter that they shouldn't have. That they shouldn't have. But credit to the Blues. It felt like in that game, particularly sort of halfway through that third quarter into that last quarter, Melbourne were going to overrun them and take the game away. But look, the Blues simply needed that. They needed that. They needed it for themselves as a playing group. They needed it for their coach in Michael Voss. Did they change the way they played? Not really. Not really. I didn't see too much different to what I've been seeing week in, week out. But what I did see was some fight, was some effort, was some energy, was some care. You know, even the last moment there where Jacob Wiedering takes the big intercept mark, he didn't need to do that. He didn't need to do that. But because he's still got real pride in his performance and he's a leader of the football club, he goes back with absolute courage and takes that mark with whatever 5 seconds to go, whatever it was in that final quarter. But it shows there that they are still invested as a team. They're certainly not happy with what's happened this season because they should be a better team. But at the same time, they do have a lot of their senior players out of this team. But starting to find plays. Ashton Moyer was terrific tonight.
4 goals.
4 goals. Outstanding. He looks like he's a point of difference as a forward for the Blues.
11 disposals, 4 goals. He had 5 shots because he kicked that one on the full as well. But you're right. They look like they found a little medium forward there.
Matt Carroll, 15 possessions tonight. All 15 of those possessions were kicks. He kicks a goal. So, he's played 12 games this year. And he'll get to the 16. Don't worry, Loz. He'll get there by the end of the season. I thought even Francis Evans did a couple of nice things tonight with the ball. Young, which one is it? Where is he?
Flynn Young.
Flynn Young. I thought Flynn Young had a couple of nice ones. He had 8 possessions and what do you have? One goal, 2. So
3 shots on goal.
This is where you got to find. Okay, the positives, the win certainly. But where are the other positives within the game that Carlton need to find? So, there's certainly some guys playing for their careers at the moment at the Blues. But what are the positives? What are the positives that they can look at and go, this worked? And then what are the areas of improvement? They go, okay, we've still got another 5 weeks of a season remaining. Let's go after these. Let's keep going after these moments in the game. But I just thought, from a last quarter, the Blues really, really took their moments when they had to, particularly the Sam Doherty tackle. I just thought that was outstanding. And on the other side, Melbourne just didn't. They didn't take those moments in the last quarter.
3 goals apiece to both teams in the last quarter. But I was dumbfounded by some of Melbourne's play, especially where they had the ball. That was in the last quarter when they had it 70 out, wasn't it? And they went back to 110. It was just like, I think they had to kick 3 or 4 goals to win the game at that stage with 9 minutes to go, and they elected to go backwards instead of going forward. We've seen glimpses again, Rama, fast ball movement. Both teams scored on the back of fast ball movement but went back into their shell with slow ball movement, a lot of kicking down the line, and probably sums it up that last play by Rivers, doesn't it? Played skinny football, need to take the risk. What are Collingwood doing in that situation?
Oh, that's going to centre half forward, straight off the line.
They're going straight through the middle, they're getting surge numbers, and they're taking risks.
Well, and just to explain that to our listeners, so the ball goes out on the full, and Trent Rivers gets the free kick.
Yeah, Max Gawn chipped it over the top to Trent Rivers at half-back.
Gets the kick. Then Trent Rivers, all the numbers were on the same line where the ball was.
So Carlton is set up there. That's where they've got the numbers there.
They've got De Koning back there. They've got Wiedering back there. They've got Charlie Curnow back there. So certainly outnumbered. The ball goes straight to that spot where it's maybe Jake Melcham and Jefferson who trying in that contest. There's no hope of winning it. You've got to take the risk to kick it to a one-on-one somewhere else.
You're going to shift the ball off the line. Where the numbers are not, and rely hopefully on a good 50-50 win.
And that's the play that you practice at training where your teammates know the ball's not going down the line, it's going off the line. So wherever that ball goes to, we can get other numbers there to that contest. But this is the practice part of training. You either go to training to learn or you go to training to go through the motions. And if you go through the motions, that's the result you get sometimes.
The Blues make their way off the MCG, winners by 8 points. Over in the West, the Eagles have had a diabolical third quarter in which Richmond booted 8 goals to 1, and the Tigers lead by 47 points, 14-7-91 to the Eagles, 6-8-44. So the chance for the Eagles to try and get their second win of the season looks a long way apart. As the Blues make their way down to their rooms, let's join them with Lex Pesher.
One thing I have noticed, guys, is how many Gatorades are in the middle of the ground at the moment. There's one very happy Michael Voss. Maybe because they've broken the wind, they're going to pour Gatorade over everyone. We'll wait and see. You can hear the cheering from down here. Lots of fans here. More than usual, I'd say, but the one thing that stood out to me was the biggest smile on Michael Voss's face. We haven't heard this song in a while. Let's join them for it. It's the most awkward part of the song, is it watching everyone get Gatorade showers? I don't think the players like it. Here we go.
2 debutants in the middle of the circle. So the Blues winners by 8 points. Harry O'Farrell in the middle of the circle with Flynn Young as well. Don't know, could you see Lex Michael Voss around in the circle somewhere around the group?
He wasn't quite in the circle. He's behind the fence. I reckon he's staying away from the Gatorade. But you can definitely see the I guess, elation in his face and how proud he is of probably that. Maybe not so much that performance, but it's probably a lot of pressure off his shoulders just getting that win under the belt. You guys talked about it in the call, the close ones they've had with Melbourne, and to keep that on their side probably is a bit of a chip on their shoulder and does build belief in this group. So gives them some momentum to, I don't know, have some pride for the last couple of rounds of the season.
Yep, absolutely. Their resilience to keep fighting throughout difficult circumstances. Thanks, Lex. Carlton winners by 8 points, 12-6-78 to the Demons, 10-10-70. I want to come back to the Ds in a little while's time, but for our listeners who might have just flicked on the radio and wondered, well, what happened throughout the game? Well, Carlton led by 8 points at quarter time, by 19 points at half time. They put 2 goals to none in the second quarter. It was a 10-point lead the Blues way at 3/4 time, so they really did lead from go to woe. The Demons hit the front in that third quarter, but Carlton answered with the last 3 goals of the quarter. There was an incident in that term involving Stephen May, and well, unfortunately on the receiving end of that was Francis Evans, and then the Blues kicked 3 goals, 3 goals 1 to Melbourne's 3 goals 3 to run out 8-point winners. So that incident involving Stephen May and Francis Evans. May went past the ball, collected Evans high, straight down the nose. The match review officer will have a look at it. It will certainly put Stephen May in trouble. How do you see it?
Yeah, look, it was slightly late. That's the reality of that situation. It looked like they were going to hit the ball at the same time. Stephen May, Francis Evans took the ball, then May's decided to bump. Francis clearly cut him open, so it's clearly got him in the head. It's clearly high. Evans looks like he's got concussion. So
I think they have said concussion.
Yep, so the result will determine itself, basically.
The game's moved so much on outcomes now, Boomer, but whenever that incident takes place, play goes past the ball, contact is high. It's an area of the game we're trying to stamp out, and as you touched on throughout the call, it's split-second decisions.
Yeah. It is. I just want to make this clear, right? He's going to get suspended, I would think.
Yeah.
Just the way the outcome is, right? Got hit high. I just want to make this clear to the listeners. This game is brutal and it's hard, and he had a split second. I don't think there was no elbow raised. There was nothing. He was trying to win the ball.
He tucked it in.
He tucked it in. It was just unlucky that he hit the guy high, because if he didn't hit him high, and it would have been a clean bump, and it would have been nearly perfect. Okay, so I just want to let the listeners know I don't Don't go out there and go, oh, he's a mug, he's this, he's a thug. It wasn't like that at all. No, absolutely not condoning it. But he has a split second to determine.
Yeah, it's really difficult.
Rightio, am I going to try to win that ball? Yes. Now there's going to be a collision, and the outcome is what the outcome is, unfortunately.
I think so. In that insight,
just hold fire, Ram. We'll come back to that. The Blues winners by 8 points. Let's head back down to their rooms.
Thanks, guys. I've got Jacob Wiedering with me. Jacob, thanks so much for your time. Why don't we start with your opinion on that hit, Stephen May and Francis Evans? What did you make of it for your initial reaction?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it up close, obviously. I think both players looked like they were going for the ball. I heard the boys just talking before about it. It's one of those things, again, split-second decision. It's obviously not ideal that Frankie was on the harsh end of it, and obviously he'll miss probably next week with concussion. So we'll let the tribunal sort that one out, and just happy to get the 4 points.
Now on the win tonight, it's been a while since we've heard that song. You guys and Melbourne have always played in very close matches. I saw you just after going around to just about every player, even the ones who didn't play. What does this win mean to you initially?
Yeah, I think it's timely. We've had a tough 4 or 5 weeks, and last win came up against, I think it was West Coast. So I just think we played the right way from minute one. We're tough in the contest. We played straighter tonight. Both teams like to go long down the line and play a contest brand of football. And we held up defensively for the first time. I think the last 3 weeks we've let 100 points through. And I'm just really proud of a lot of the young boys that stood up. We've got a fair few guys out, probably 9 or 10 starters. And, you got guys like Ashton standing up and kicking a bag, but putting pressure on. The small forwards were brilliant. Flinney on the wing. And then my boys down back, I thought Hoff, Matt Carroll and Lockie Cowan were unbelievable tonight. So stoked for them. And again, I just think it's quite timely and, very proud of the boys.
You just mentioned Ashton there to kick a bag like he did. What does it do for the confidence of such a young player?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, he's quite an energetic type, very young still in the way he goes about himself, but he's a bloody hard worker on and off the track. And, just to get some reward on the field, and we'll certainly, celebrate those defensive acts as well. I thought he was brilliant at that. So gives Charlie energy, gives the boys a bit of chop out up forward, and he put a score on the board for us.
Our ABC experts, Adam Rabinauskas and Brent Harvey, it's over to you.
Jacob, well done. With those younger players that you're talking about, with adversity of the injuries that you're talking about becomes opportunity, but where's the right balance in giving those kids as many games as you possibly can when they deserve it, but also keeping those, potentially some of those older guys in there and giving them opportunity as well?
Yeah, it's definitely a balancing act, but the guys that are in tonight have certainly earned that. I'll speak more to the boys down back. I mean, Harry O'Farrell is still very young and, a bit of a beanpole, but his strengths lie in his run and jump and his ability to close the contest, and I thought he was brilliant at that tonight. Matt Carroll, he's got that footy knack. He's got an amazing journey. He wasn't anywhere near it, if I'm being completely honest, when he first got here, and in the space of 12 months, he worked bloody hard with Nick Newman and Sam Doherty to fill the guys, and you see he's got, time and space everywhere, and he uses the ball really well. And then Lockie Cowan, he had some massive moments. I think it was that third quarter, he took 2 big intercept marks and gets his job done one-on-one and then goes back the other way. So it is a balancing act, but what it does do is put a fire sort of under the bum of a few of the older boys and making sure we're leading the right way. And as leaders, we've been vocal. We've got to lead the way, and you just can't leave it up to the younger boys to drive the energy. And I thought, Cripper, Pito, TDK, and even Charles as well tonight were brilliant. So all-round effort. We've got 5 days now to turn it around and do it against the Hawks.
You spoke about the relief, I guess, of getting the win. Again, how do you balance the relief of getting the win and then going to work and saying, well, yep, we did this well, but we also need to still fix this part of the game up when we come up against a Hawthorn, who were definitely a different ball movement team than Melbourne.
Yeah, I think even the terminology relief, I think that's probably the way we've been playing the last few weeks, and that's a little bit safe and at times, not going at the game. And I thought tonight we put it on them, especially in that last quarter. They came at us after half time. They came at us, but we kept going forward. We kept pressing. We kept putting pressure on, and we got the rewards off the back of it. So as I sort of mentioned, it's a balancing act between defence and offence. But when you keep a team under 70, 80 points, you're going to win a lot of games. So proud of the effort again. yeah, we've got to, we'll have a couple of days off, review it on Tuesday, I think, or Monday, and get in and do a job against a very good informed team.
Jacob, tell us about your role on Jake Melcham, who's been in unbelievable form. Just for the listeners, how much work do you actually put into your direct opponent and the opposition forward six as well?
Yeah, I probably, even myself, to be honest, I've struggled a little bit over the last few weeks, and sat down. There was a lot of vision time on the couch with Aaron Hamill and a few of the backs, Harry O'Farrell, just watching the way they go about themselves. They've been very, very potent up forward. Pickett was obviously the one that got off the chain tonight. Again, he's a brilliant player, and you've got to give him a lot of credit. But Melcham, again, being in great form, he got me on a few lead-ups. I'm not the quickest human, so I try and keep him in a contest. But, again, team effort. I thought the boys were brilliant at coming off and supporting each other.
Jacob Wiedering with us on ABC Sport following the Blues' 8-point win against Melbourne. You mentioned the 5-day turnaround to playing Hawthorn. It's also your 200th game coming up. Have you got, family coming down from Mount Martha? What does the next few days look like for you to get prepped for a milestone match? Yeah,
there's a bit going on this week. It's my wife's birthday on Monday, my father-in-law's birthday tomorrow. So I think it's going to be a bit of a family occasion this week. And, it'd be nice to get some friends and family and celebrate with those people that have meant so much and got me to where I am today. And again, it's against the Hawks. Got an old mentor coaching against me as well in Kate Simpson.
Yeah.
Hopefully we find him in the rooms afterwards, win, lose or draw. So looking forward to it.
Joe, you mentioned you've struggled personally over the last couple of weeks with your own performance. How do you work through that? Can you let the listeners know how you work through that during the week? What do you do? Something? Do you speak to the sports psych? Do you watch more vision? What do you do to try to get yourself out? You're such an experienced player, all Australian, obviously, all the accolades. But as such an experienced player, how do you work through that yourself?
I probably learnt this lesson a few years ago, and I've certainly struggled to, at times, implement it. But it's about giving back to someone else. It's amazing when you give what you get in return, and just putting time into the younger boys, especially the last few weeks. Harry O'Farrell, just trying to mentor him and help him out with his game. He's been brilliant, as I sort of mentioned. But for me personally, I've got a pretty basic role. That's to manage the depth at the defensive end of the ground, make sure I win my contests, and do a job and play big. So keep it simple at times. Make sure I've got faith in myself, confidence in myself to do that. It's funny, you lose confidence pretty quickly in this game, but it's a bloody simple one. So you got to do it together. You can't, go out on islands. And at times we have done that in the last sort of 3 weeks. And again, he's going to give us a lot of confidence going forward and try and get something out of the last 5 weeks of the year.
Jacob, congratulations on the win. See you on Thursday night.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.
Jacob Wiedering joining us ahead of his 200th game next week against the Hawks, following an 8-point win over the Demons tonight. 12-6-78 to the Demons 10-10-70.
It's really interesting. Sort of, Wiedering's a superstar defender of the game, but he mentioned when you do lose some games as a team and your own confidence drops, you can go very into yourself. And he mentioned going onto an island and just worrying about him. You worry about yourself, but I love that answer. He goes, well, no, I've got to give to the others. The more I can give to the others and help those guys, my own game will build on that. He took 6 intercept marks tonight.
Yep.
Had probably one of the more difficult matchups that he'll have all season.
I think he had 3 in the first quarter. I think you called it, Rama.
With Jake Melcham. So Jake Melcham's been on fire of recent weeks. And it's not a matchup that he would usually have. He would usually have a Van Rooyen or a Jefferson or somebody like that. But he took the responsibility to go and play on Melcham and did a terrific job.
Can either of you guys relate to that throughout your own career in tough times where it does start to seep in emotionally and you're trying to be a leader and keep all the outside noise to one side, but eventually with the loss that comes week after week, it does start to affect your own individual confidence?
Well, no doubt. So you would at times just go into the club and want to do your work individually and go home because, you're a little bit embarrassed with your own performance and you want to avoid conversations with teammates and coaches and then go and play better the next week and then go and have those conversations. But the reality is you're all together, you're all one. So one conversation with somebody different may help your own performance. I think you start to understand that as you get older and older. But younger guys, they get into their own heads so much now, so much.
And when you're winning, you can sort of hide from all that sort of stuff. It's when you're losing and you go down to the supermarket and there's people saying, hey, what's going on in our football club? You know, there's so many supporters that ride every bump with you, and the win and loss is huge for them. So when you lose, everything gets times 10. And when you're winning, even if you're not going so well, you can say, that's okay, I'm still playing a role because we're winning. Yeah, I'm still contributing, even though the output is no different. You're just winning.
So the uncertainty that swells around Carlton, Graham Wright is going to take over the 15th of August. That was scheduled to be October, but that has been moved forward, and that transition between he and Brian Cook will take place. And so many of the questions around the coach, for one, Michael Voss, despite being contracted, Brad Lloyd, the head of footy, what will happen with him, and his inability to be able to answer that question when he did a doorstop at the airport about the uncertainty that is around the change rooms. I mean, none of that gets answered tonight with an 8-point win over Melbourne, but I guess if they lost that was a 4-game losing streak, so if they had lost their last 10...
It just gets postponed.
Right. I don't think any of it gets answered till after the season, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think he's going to, on the 15th of August, call a press conference and say, you and you are gone, or you and you are staying. I think...
But if you're in Graham Wright's shoes, what would you want to see in between now and the end of the season?
Improvement. I think improvement is they've still certainly got a competitive team. You know, they've got a lot of injuries.
Can you run through that list really quickly in case we've got new listeners?
So right now on their injury list, guys that could potentially play in their best team if they weren't injured: Matt Cottrell, Fantasia, Brodie Kemp, Mitch McGovern, Harry Mackay, Nick Newman, Jack Silvani, Sam Walsh, Lewis Young, Elijah Hollins.
10, I think there was 10. I think 10 or 11 names there. So that's what they're looking for. They're looking for improvement, like Rama said. But Moya pops up tonight and kicks 4. They found a player. You know, Carroll, can he come on and play an important role? Young had a couple of 3 shots on goal tonight. They're the little wins that you're trying to look for this time of year. When you can't play finals, you want to make the environment a really good place to still be at, but have these little wins along the way. And I think I've seen a few little wins tonight, Rama, from those Carlton players.
And the other one is you want to see a slight shift in game plan. If it's the opinion of the whole football coaching staff that, well, the style we're playing is not working, we're going to go down this path now, and we're going to try and implement this over, how long they've been trying to implement, 8 weeks now or the like. You want to see small sample sizes of that throughout the remainder of the season, then you go and train it hard again.
Did they find their third tall forward in Ashton Moyer? Can he play alongside
I'm not sure he's a third tall.
Alicano?
I think he's probably the hybrid sort of type of forward.
Which I really like, because they're a hard matchup. You know, you look at like a Cam Zerha, he probably plays a little bit taller than what he is, or those type of players. You put a small on them, they beat them in the air. You put a taller marking interceptor player on them, they beat them on the ground. They're a really hard matchup. I thought he played a fantastic.
Well, what now Ashton's got to do is he's got to go and do it again. Because players can have a game out of the box. And it's like, this is the fine, but go and do it now for 3 or 4 weeks. Go and kick a couple of goals for 3 or 4 weeks.
So they have the Hawks on Thursday night, Fremantle and the Gold Coast Suns in the next couple of weeks for the Blues. Winners by 8 points over the Demons, 12-6-78 to Melbourne, 10-10-70. Andrew's been in touch on the SMS 0437 774 774. Carlton and Essendon are apparently in crisis mode, yet the media ignore the fact that the Demons are below both of them on the ladder with premiership list and no injury excuses either. Why is there no scrutiny on Simon Goodwin?
I actually asked this,
Andrew.
Not so much about Simon Goodwin, but I said to you guys earlier, where does this leave Melbourne? If you're going to name 10 or 11 players out of Carlton's potentially best 22, and you could argue a couple of them, Rama, but there's 7 of them that are locks for their best 18 probably. Melbourne had 3 out tonight. Where does it actually leave Melbourne? It's a great shout out by the message. It's a great shout out. Where does it leave them?
Well, look, again, they're a team that simply needs to transition their style, and I think we've seen it in moments this year, but we probably want to see it more now. Yep, I agree. They do have the cattle, but they've always had this issue with their forward line. They've never been able to solve the problem of what's the best look. Now, if playing Van Rooyen and Jefferson for the remainder of the year is going to help that, do that. do that. But, those smaller type forwards, they want Cozzy in the midfield and they want Cozzy down forward.
Remember, just refresh my memory. When they won the flag, Ben Brown was obviously the forward, the tall, big.
Bailey Fritsch kicked 56 goals.
Outstanding. Was there another one?
Tom McDonald played forward.
He did too, didn't he? Yeah, I thought there was like a two talls and that hybrid type, which Fritsch, it probably fits that mould.
Yep. So, and then they had Cozzy playing as a genuine
forward, small forward.
So he was that player. So, I would love to see Trent Rivers go up into the midfield. I'd love to see Judd McVie get an opportunity up in the midfield. Play Oliver and Viney and Petrarca in different spots for the remainder of the year. We know, if need be, that they can go and play in the middle of the ground, but you also need to go, okay, can these other players go into the middle of the ground? Give Harvey Langford a bit of time in the middle of the ground. Give Xavier Lindsay a bit of time in the middle of the ground.
Because you can play Petrarca forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've seen that. He hits the scoreboard 3-4 shots on goal every single time. He's big, he's strong. He's that hybrid type of player.
But if they turn up next year and it's still a midfield of Gawn, Petrarca, Oliver, Viney, well, you've wasted an opportunity in the back part of the season to blood new guys and give them a real chance in the middle of the ground. Trent Rivers did it last year at the end of the season and looked really, really good. Yep. But I think he's barely played in the middle of the ground this year. Like, give Judd McVie a go, give Langford a go, give Caleb Windsor a go in there. So
can Clayton Oliver and Jack Viney play other positions?
Well, yeah, I think they can. I think Jack Viney could play as a small forward and apply enormous pressure. He would have 6 or 7 tackles a game. If you said, Jack, this is what role we want you to play for a period of time, I don't think he would have any issue with that.
What about Clayton Oliver?
Well, that's the question, because I don't think Clayton's ever played another position. I think he's always been
back last year. That
didn't work. Well, they're trying to play him as a tagger this year a bit. He's played on Paddy Cripps, and I thought Cripps was outstanding. Cripps has had 29 possessions, 14 contested, 8 clearances. His last quarter was enormous. But this is the thing, if you're going to still play 60% midfield, the other 40, you're going to find a spot.
Right, but what about Christian Petrarca? So he's had 23 touches tonight. I didn't think he had an impact on the game. I didn't notice him. If you could cover those stats for me and ask, I would have said 15, 16 maybe. There was no impact on the game at all. And that's not a knock on him because he's a superstar. I'm just so used to seeing him play a little bit more forward of, the forward sort of 90 and hit the scoreboard a couple of times, set up some goals, get clearances, break through. I haven't seen that, especially tonight.
This will sound weird, but I'm giving Petrarca like a year,
I reckon I'm with you.
Sort of thing.
So you had 30 disposals last week, kicked 1, 2 and 7 clearances, and you felt like that's the Petrarca of old, and yet that was the exception to how he's played this season. And you wonder, can he get back to doing that week in, week out, or is that going to be the 4 or 5 times a season he'll be able to do that?
I'm saying that because of what he sustained last year. Clearly what he went through physically and mentally was enormous. Like that, nobody can comprehend what he went through. No one can really understand. Clearly it was horrible. So to get the confidence back then to be the player that he was, that takes a bit of time. It's like a guy doing his ACL or having a shoulder reconstruction. It takes time for those major injuries for a player to really go and find their groove again. So
totally agree.
Clearly he can still do it. Clearly can
still do it consistently.
Well, that's why I'm saying I'm giving him the year to get all that confidence back, get another pre-season again where he gets fit and strong and then goes from there.
They're invested in him and Clayton Oliver for the long term, though. These guys have taken long-term deals, so now
that's right.
The direction of the club is going to be based around them being able to get back to that level they once were at. The Tigers have defeated the West Coast Eagles by 49 points.
Oh, jeez.
You saw Boomer a goal from Liam Ryan, which might be up there as a goal of the year contender. 16-9, 105 the Tigers to West Coast 8-8-56. So the Eagles with just the 1 win for the season. 2 goals for Harley Reid and 2 goals for Liam Ryan for the West Coast Eagles. While for the Tigers, 3 goals to Tim Taranto, 3 goals to Ryan Mansell, 2 to Jonty Fall and to Seth Campbell alongside Jacob Hopper.
We also saw the rundown of the year in that game. Morris Rioli Jr. I reckon he's ran probably 70 metres to make the tackle. I think it was Brady Hoff who he made the tackle on. Unbelievable rundown.
So many people thought the Tigers. I shouldn't say many. Some people thought.
What's that win number? What for the Tigers?
5.
That's pretty good.
So the gap between the gap between they and North Melbourne has only widened. So the Eagles with 1 win for the season, the Kangas with 4. Many thought they would rise this season. The Tigers with 5
and a half.
Sorry, and a half.
4.5.
Yeah, no,
I've done that before.
I was hoping the Kangaroos would be sort of 7 or 8 wins by the end of the campaign. So I think do they play Richmond and West Coast?
They do play Richmond again, yep.
Yeah, so there's an opportunity there.
And we've given Richmond our first round draft pick, just quietly too. I don't want to really mention that if there's any Kangas supporters listening, I'm sorry, but that's what's happening.
But at the same time, I think Richmond have overachieved now with 5 wins.
Absolutely.
So they've unearthed a number of players, the Tigers, and some games, as you were here last week, against Essendon aren't the best, but tonight they looked okay.
49-point win over the West Coast Eagles, and Adamuse is smiling with his 5th win of the season. So Melbourne won the inside 50s, just a final point on this, 58-50. Has Simon Goodwin shown enough that he is changing their game style, or has this been the perennial issue for Melbourne that they can't solve?
Well, certainly. Yeah, certainly it's been the perennial issue, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you think Jefferson and Van Rooyen are those 2 players, just play them. Like, give them a chance to form some sort of partnership, relationship as key forwards, and then go from there. Because if they don't think either one are, you got to trade them. You got no choice. Like, it's not like, well, we've got time on our side where we can just wait and wait and wait. If they don't think either one of them are going to be the answer, just move them on.
Oh, I tend to agree. I think Jefferson, especially being a younger sort of guy, and he showed some stuff tonight. He didn't. I'm not sure what his stats are. We'll find him in a second. But 9 disposals, 1 goal. He did some really good defensive stuff.
2 marks only.
Yeah, so he needs to. He probably
Van Rooyen took 5 marks.
This is not an excuse, but Melbourne's ball movement into forward 50 wasn't fantastic for a tall forward either. So I'm with Ram. I would love him to say that, you know what? You're playing the rest of the season as our key forward. Let's see what you've got. So he doesn't think, and when you're young, this is your thinking pattern is, I just got to play well, and all you want to do is play well and keep your spot. Win and losses, always want to win, but that's not the be-all, end-all when you're a young player in your first, second, third year. You want to make an impact and play every week. I would love him to say to him, you're our man, you're going to play for the next 6 weeks, let's see what you got. So he knows there's no pressure to perform in terms of, I'm going to get dropped, it's just you're going to play.
He has to prioritise the delivery inside 50, Simon Goodwin, doesn't he? That if you can't deliver the ball inside 50 with a system or a pattern, then...
But
it's not just Melbourne.
No, I know it's not.
This is your problem. Who are the guys delivering the ball inside forward 50?
Well, the names that come to mind are Clayton Oliver, Jack Viney, Christian Petrarca. I can think of Jake Bowie doing it a few times tonight as well.
Pickett.
It's almost with no care and responsibility. So I think that's the challenge from the coaching side of things.
Langdon had 5 inside 50s. He was their 6. Bailey Fritsch, who gets up the ground a little bit more. And
he's a young kid, so he's in his first year, so he and Xavier Lindsay will get better. But you just wonder as to whether that's valued at Melbourne. And I mean, Matthew Jefferson is the player they've drafted to be a key forward. There was the pie in the sky sort of talk about Luke Jackson coming back to Victoria if his partner wanted to come home. That seems a long way off now, and Melbourne have to prioritise drafting or free agency, which money might be an issue, or key forward.
Or trading.
Trading. I think Rama mentioned earlier that this draft is a midfielder's draft. Yeah. So did they go out and probably not going to get an amazing key forward straight up? Well, I know they got a pretty early pick, but I tend to think it's a trade maybe rather than wait for the draft, because that tall forward, they normally take an extra 1 or 2 years to develop and become good players. You're talking 4 years down the track now.
If only we knew someone in the list management side of things. If, say, for example, Melbourne were targeting Harry Mackay, if Carlton were open to the option, what would Carlton want from Melbourne in return?
I would say as a starting point, they would want 2 first-round draft picks.
Even after this year?
Yeah. And I'd say as an ending point, they might go, you give us one of your really good younger players, Langford, Lindsay, Windsor.
And one pick.
And a pick.
Yeah, right.
That's what I think. That's where I think it would probably eventually sit.
So unless a player is a free agent, that's the currency you have to pay to get someone.
Yeah, particularly now that you're allowed to trade another future pick as well. So another year. So
3 years?
Two. Yeah. So you could effectively give 3 first-round draft picks now for a player. That's what you've got over the next 3 years. Which is what Keziah Pickett was. Brad Green was asking for Pickett. So if he went to WA, so he probably deserves it. I reckon that might be a bit light as well.
Yeah. Well, without him, he kicked 5 of Melbourne's 10 goals. It would be hard to be a Melbourne supporter right now.
Oh, look, he's just a brilliant footballer. I think you're right. Right now, he's right at the start of his prime. So how long can he hold a prime for? But if he's presented himself like he has this year as a player, that's going to be a long, long time, because he's certainly not just a small forward. He can go up into the midfield and cause real damage around stoppage. He's powerful. He tackles hard. His running is better than I thought it would ever be, Boomer. Initially when you watched Pickett, it was a couple of efforts forward, then he might disappear for 7 or 8 minutes because he was knackered. But now he's got a lot better. He's got a lot better with that. So
I'll tell you what he's doing when he starts in that centre bounce.
And he can take a hanger too.
He can. He's hanging around the back of the stoppage.
Yeah.
So then he's facing goal. For a quick player, it's a very smart move, because when the ball goes forward, you can run. You're looking at everything rather than getting the ball with your back towards goal. I watched him pretty closely when I was on Pickett Watch tonight, and he's going well. He's a star.
So 5 goals tonight. He's up to 35 for the season. How many could he kick in a season if he has an absolute season where he plays every week?
Just as a forward?
Just as a forward.
Oh, he'd get 50 plus.
The problem is he won't just play forward now.
No.
He's never going to play forward again until the end part of his career, maybe.
You look at what Jamie Elliott is doing for Collingwood as playing more as a deeper forward.
Just as a forward.
Yeah.
And as you said, he's losing his opponent tonight by going to centre bounces, and they're getting
it was bizarre.
Confused whether he's playing as a midfielder or playing as a forward. And
he would start on Hewitt, or Hewitt would start on him, and then he would just drift maybe.
It was a really poor handover.
Yeah, and the handover's 10 or 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And if you're Cozzy Pickett, 10 or 20 seconds is amazing. So he's playing in between 2 opponents. He's pointing at Hewitt, Hewitt's pointing at the next bloke, and there's no one going to him. For an absolute star, when I was watching him, and there was no one around him for 30, 35 metres, and remember, he got that little one just inside forward 50. It was just bizarre that no one went to him.
As the SMS comes through, 0437 774 774, Essendon have Melbourne's first draft pick in November, so the Demons would have to get creative,
they do
as
too.
well a few other clubs if they're looking to try and get this done.
There's all these draft picks handed over already, and it's going to cost a few teams, or hurt a few teams, I should say.
Melbourne winners by 8 points over the Carlton winners by 8 points over the Demons, 12-6-78 to Melbourne, 10-10-70. And the Tigers winners over the West Coast Eagles by 49 points, 16-9-105 to the Eagles, 8-8-56.
Just on that last message, Essendon do have Melbourne's first-round draft pick this year. But Melbourne got Essendon's from last year and used it to get Lindsay and Langford.
Yep.
So if you're a Melbourne supporter, you're probably going, that's okay. That's what I'll be thinking. So I think they're going to be two midfielders for your future, no doubt about that.
Yep, Volstrup as well. The votes for the ABC Football of the Year.
That's me. So I gave 1 to Ashton Moyer, 11 possessions, 7 score involvements, and 4 goals. Clearly his best game as a Carlton player, and hopefully there's more of that to come for the Blues in the future. I go 2 to Paddy Cripps, 29 possessions, 14 contested, 8 clearances, 5 tackles. But his last quarter I thought was enormous. It was a good battle with Clayton Oliver, but I thought Cripps certainly got the better of that.
Stood up in that last quarter, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
10 or so touches.
And I thought the 3 was an easy one tonight. Keziah Pickett, 23 possessions. 11 score involvements and 5 goals, 2.
3 to Pickett, 2 to Cripps, 1 to Moyer. in the ABC Footballer of the Year from Adam Ramanauskas. So that takes us to tomorrow. It all gets underway with AFL Sunday with myself and Cameron Ling, and then down the highway to Geelong as the Cats take on the Saints. These have been interesting battles across the years, but really Geelong just need to win at this stage, don't they?
Yep.
They've slid down the ladder to 6, so they're outside the top 4 for the moment, so they have to try and hold their place. The intriguing one is Collingwood and the Fremantle Dockers. There's some people here at the MCG, some saying that the Dockers feel like they get a free swing against the...
Absolutely they do. Yeah.
Minor Premier favourites at the moment.
They should come here and go for it.
How do they play at the MCG?
Not often.
No.
That's sort of what I'm getting at.
Hayden Young comes back in for the Fremantle Dockers. It'll be interesting to see how much game time he plays.
Yep.
No Jeremy Howe, Dan Houston, Tim Membry, Tom Mitchell for the Pies.
No, I think
comes back in.
Yeah,
Curry,
I think the Pies still here, but I agree with you. I think it's just a free swing for the Dockers.
What would be a margin? Is it a margin or is it a?
No, I think
four
it's
goals. They're under.
You reckon?
Yeah, they're within 4 goals. They've done a good
okay.
job.
Oh, well, Fremantle won't be thinking that though, will they?
Nah.
They're vying for.
I think Collingwood are gettable, as the Sun showed last week. That intent when you're on top of the ladder and Nick Dacos is playing sore. It'll be interesting to see how Craig McRae manages this. And Adelaide and the Gold Coast Suns close a
great game.
round.
A good one.
I'm really liking both teams. Really liking both teams there. I think Adelaide are the best kicking team in the competition nearly, and Gold Coast are just playing some great football. I'll tell you who's a good player. You can say but Noah Anderson. He's just he's just a star, isn't he? Every time I watch him, he's better and better and better. He does inside. He does outside. He's now a finisher. He kicks goals. And he seems to be a fantastic young leader. I really like him.
So the Suns travelling to Adelaide to close out the round. Thank you, Boomer. Thank you, Rama.
Thank you.
Thank you to Lauren Borden. Thanks to Lee. Thanks to Lex Pescier down on the boundary. And thanks to Lucas back at base. It was the Blues who snapped a 4-game losing streak back on the winners list. Their first win since round 14 against the West Coast Eagles, 12-6-78 to the Demons, 10-10-70. Thanks for your company tonight from the MCG. For Capital City listeners, we'll now take you to nightlife. And if you're in regional Australia, Saturday Night Country is coming your way. Thanks so much. We'll chat to you tomorrow on ABC Sport.
Every day, all around Australia, extraordinary people create moments that inspire. See them, hear them. All you have to do is nominate them at australianoftheyear.org.au.
ABC Sport Digital Radio, your home of netball.
You touched on Barry Robin, and of course, we lost the great man this week, and look, it's come out. Everyone's pretty much said he is the greatest South Australian footballer of all time. So we're very fortunate, Andy, that joining us on the line is Beauden Jaworski. Now, Beauden, of course, played 200 plus at North Adelaide, many of those with Barry, played in a couple of flags alongside Barry Robin in 71-72, and importantly played in that 1972 Champions of Australia game where North Adelaide beat Carlton by the 1 point. Beauden, of course, also was president of North Adelaide Footy Club. He joins us. Good morning, Beauden. Thanks for your time.
Good morning, Mark.